All right, y'all. Welcome back to the To Be Fair Show. I am your host, Johnny P.
Oh, here, real.
It's Q.
And we back. Got another one lined up. Before we get started, I want to tell everybody to please follow us on all social at the To Be Fair Show. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. We got a few people in the chat waiting for us. Y'all tap into the conversation, get to know each other. Like the video, subscribe, get all our notifications. So we got a good one lined up. Y'all boys ready for this L?
Yes, sir. I won last week, just so you know.
That's why you're going to get an L this week.
All right, what's up? God, oh no. Fuck out of here. Talking about. We're going to go. I'm going to be nice today. We're going to go Johnny.
First up.
Tone. Me, then Q. Since me and Q had a disagreement earlier, I'm putting him last. That's how I feel about it.
All right, so I got few of them. Q.
I no longer accept that apology.
Wait a minute. But yeah, I got mine at the top, Tone. It hit refresh.
Yeah. All right, what you got for us?
Start with the white dude first. We'll go left to right.
Cause that shit gonna piss me off.
Please don't
This
act
is like it's about to be funny
got
always.
going on, gang.
Please don't act black, cause that shit gonna piss me off.
Please don't act like a female. That's gonna piss me off. You over there being prejudiced. Huh? Wrong with you. Got going on, gang.
Please don't act black.
And then yeah, let me get Banner.
All right.
Banner a goat, man. Banner
But even the fact that we think there's a devil, if you think God is omnipotent, duality is a fucking lie. If God created the devil, why would you even speak of the devil, even if the devil fucking existed? See, the reason why they give you the devil is because you'll never admit that you the fucking devil. So if you blame it on an outside entity, something outside of yourself, then you would never fix you.
Mm-hmm.
When I fixed me, my life changed. It wasn't no fucking devil. It ain't these crackers. It ain't none of that shit. It's me. I'm the problem. And even if it is somebody else, why would they stop? Why would they take their foot out your ass and they benefit from you being fucked up? It's you the devil. So until you realize that you the fucking problem, you do. But even the fact that we think.
So is that accountability for black men? Nah, not that. My bad. That unpack was running in my head for a quick second.
I don't know. Kamala might have took that one. You know.
She could have took accountability.
Or just say because there's a lot of people blaming black men, saying we were the issue.
We'll get there.
What is the well? I guess I agree with everything he said. The it's well generally. So I've been through like a spiritual roller coaster. You know what I mean? Grew up in the church, Christian church, with Baptist church, and then went into once I got out of my mom's house, I started to question all of my beliefs and started looking into different religious practices and different things. And then I got right back to the place where it's like almost where I started, right? But I stopped believing in the devil a minute as far as his power over my life. That he, you know what I mean? And started honestly, blaming myself is what made me start to check boxes. Oh, as far as goals go. Like blaming myself literally took my life from like being a victim and being a victor.
I like that.
I got that from, I think somebody recently said that. So I ain't gonna sit here and act like that copyright infringement on that motherfucker.
Yeah, but no, I think like if you always blaming somebody else, like that's what he said. That's what I took from it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that self-accountability piece about like you never gonna have the power. If you always saying that somebody else can do XYZ to you, it's their fault. And like you say, until you become the God, inside. He say the devil, but it's that God.
Just flip it.
Yeah, it's that God in you, and you can overcome anything. You have to look at it like that, or you will just always look for problems and not look for solutions.
Facts.
There's always a solution, but you just gotta have a mind to.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm a God, Lil G, and every single one of my raps that I done wrote, even though I don't like go any further with it, just on my every single rap that I done wrote, I always put in there, I'm a God, Lil G.
Lil G.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think what he hit on pretty much goes in line with like, how I view things, view the world. That and this is where sometimes I get lost inside like the victim mentality conversation, and even like some of these conversations of like how people solve for like white supremacy and things like that by thinking that the power structure is going to give you the thing to overthrow them. And like it make my brain hurt, but then like it just becomes its own circle, self-fulfilling prophecy, because like you're begging for something from people who don't give a fuck about you, and then you're mad when they don't give a fuck about you and they leave you inside the conditions that you are, but you don't do anything to actually get yourself out of those conditions besides for just complain and blame them. And like to me, like that is like the quote unquote vicious cycle of like no one is would be like no accountability, but like keeping yourself inside at the bottom of the pyramid. I'll just put it like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got one more.
Black Lives MAGA. Is that what I see?
Yeah.
Oh shit, turn it up. Not me personally, but to my boy Eric.
That's a wild one. Black Lives MAGA. That's people get mad.
And what quietly went away without anyone
Shoot,
noticing.
now when you think about it, Black Lives Make America Great Again.
Yeah, that's actually pretty.
Oh, okay.
That's actually fire.
If you say it all the way out.
I wonder if Aaron meant it that way. You think, hey, Aaron, did you mean it that way? I wonder if you did. That was actually kind of fire.
You gotta say it all the way.
I think Aaron probably thought that he was coming into, or she was coming into a
troll.
spot to troll.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
That's why quietly went away without anyone noticing.
Oh, lady, like
person.
Yeah. It's hard to pronoun a mutual sex name.
Aaron could be anybody.
Yeah.
What quietly went away without anyone noticing. Ownership. We used to pay money and then the thing actually belonged to us. Not everything is sold as a service. Music as a service, movies as a service. We spend and we hold nothing in our hands. This got my wheels turning. I want to talk about it. So at face value, it reminds me of a time when we would buy CDs, DVDs, we could watch or listen to it whenever we wanted. Today, if a movie or song gets removed from all platforms, there could literally be no official way to access it. What it got me thinking about was the future of the public record and who is actually in control of it. Remember during the Super Bowl when Alicia Keys hit that bad note and the next day all the official media had the note fixed?
Some people want it all. Some people want it all.
If it weren't for people having their own archive, the official record is actually a lie. It's an intentional misrepresentation of what actually happened. And it's all fun and games when you're talking about just entertainment. But what happens with things that are more important? And I just think about the ripple effect of what this could mean longer term. Like, who is the controller of truth or of reality? I think that we're going to start to see fractures in having what you remember be different from what the public historical record is of that moment in time. So this concept of ownership for me is more about control over consumption, and as a result, global understanding of the truth. I'm mostly just thinking out loud, but I do think it could be a great basis for a case study or a thesis. I'm not going to write it, but one of y'all should, because I think there's a lot to unpack there.
You know,
what do you think
I
about
think
all this?
That is like that was extremely dense. And it goes along with like some of my I wouldn't use the anxiety with kind of how the future in itself will even play out. If you like the Black Mirror episode, I mean like shows, or you know what I mean, like you have some version of a fear of AI, automation, any of these things, where if you think about what Neuralink is and how what he's saying could probably play directly into there, where imagine your memory is now being like shifted and altered in general from what you actually did or didn't have. Even I think Black Mirror had a whole episode that was based off of people having uploaded memories that they didn't experience, just to quote unquote like have happy memories. And like that's just crazy. The idea of having true things that actually happened manipulated and then archived as the truth. And I think the Alicia Keys example was really interesting. I didn't pay attention to, I didn't know.
But I remember her hitting the note. It was a terrible note.
Yeah, I didn't remember it, but the reality of that is that is the Bernstein Bear effect, the Mandela effect, That's the controlled Mandela effect in essence. But
Yeah, no, I think it was scary. And it's something like we've been complaining, about it for years. First it was CDs, and like going to the streaming music, and it was inconvenient at first, but now like as we're moving into AI, we're moving into everything being digitized. It is, they can lie to us, and they're already lying to us with the vacuum and how our algorithms are set.
Do you know something crazy about it too? And I know that you were going into like the depth of it, and then John, we bringing it back to more surfaceable kind of way, and that's kind of where I was gonna go to. We kind of should have went first because he went into the and I agree with everything he just said. No. You I agree with everything you just said, but like going back to more of a surface conversation is, the crazy thing is I believe that they allow us to accept it first. It's like even if you look at like the pictures that to play with the thing and we start accepting it socially, and next thing you know, the rollout, you know what I mean? It's like they just roll it out to us, and we actually buy into it.
Oh yeah, with Apple, it was like millions of songs right here on your phone,
right?
And like that was the pro to it. The con to it is,
well, the real early buy-in was, I mean, it's kind of like them selling us the chip, but i.e. our phone, but there's such a want, and one could question how regulated or intentionally unregulated certain things have been, where the real, I guess, started that probably would go to Napster and LimeWire.
Facts. I was thinking
we were just
talking about that.
And like from there, Dat Piff and Live Mixtape, and how we all consumed our music and got that digitally. Like the mixtape era was a blessing / the mixtape / blog era was the blessing, but it did lead the way for what came when it came down to like Apple, all the streaming services, because it told people, it's the same way like COVID led to higher food prices, because everybody felt like all the restaurants found out, oh, they'll actually pay this much. Like they will pay this
and
much.
why would they take it down afterwards?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Why would they bring the prices back down? So
if they pay literally for a sticker, why give them a discount?
Right. They got DoorDash money. That's like marked up 35, 65%. And they paying a fee for the delivery.
And people don't even be using their MVP card, bro.
That's shit.
So I use mine every time.
I got my number in. Hey, at the Target, you don't even get the money off like that no more. I still put my number in.
Just get the points.
Not the point. They don't do the points no more. They cut the points out. They said it like instead of giving you points to where you can start to build and all that shit, they'll just give you a discount. Which you just, you know what I mean, period, on everything. They'll just give you the discount. That's and you ain't getting shit is what's happening. They got us for sure.
No, but we're gonna lower our prices.
That's exactly what it is.
10 cents.
Hey, you ain't get that. They ain't lower
at all. Raise.
But now I thought it was interesting what you said about like Dat Piff and Napster, because like even then, like the beautiful thing about that is you could download it. Put it on your CD. That's back when you had the data CDs. You put like 20 albums on the CD, and you just load that motherfucker.
MP3 CD.
But you actually can still buy the album and buy like the singles and stuff.
But the only thing is it's all still like, digital. So if
you can take it off of, like you can download it to have it the MP3 file.
Oh, you're talking about remove it from your computer. Yeah, I see
you
what
got to
you're
do it from iTunes, though, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, like you got to go direct,
not Apple.
Because Apple, Joe Budden talks about like that's how he usually, that's how he does all his music, because of now. Like for example, Kanye's notorious for this, where he'll drop an album, but the album will kind of still be its own living thing. So he'll like change, make edits to the album, like he'll different mixes, add different artists, XYZ, to where depending on what time you listen to the album, you got a different version of the album. So with that, like sometimes if you got like the first one and you downloaded it, that one is like a completely different version than like the last version of the album.
What happened with J. Cole? Because I had downloaded that J. Cole thing through Apple.
What thing are you talking about?
The Mike the Lead. Like,
okay.
Because it was called Mike the Lead. I was like, I'm gonna download this bitch, and like I downloaded it on Apple, and I thought it was safe, and they still took the song off there.
Damn.
Did you download it to where if you didn't have internet connection that you could still get it?
Yeah, but it was still in Apple, so I didn't. Take
Oh,
the
but
MP.
once it hits it, it's still going like
Yeah, they
naturally
still take
continue.
that shit off. So like, yeah, that was the thing. It's like I had it saved on my phone. I thought it was safe because I think I heard. I thought it was safe. I went back in there. The song still going.
And that's like I don't know if you at what this is just quick and we'll wrap, I guess we could wrap it here. I actually like still buy movies because you could be on Netflix and have like your services and you could be watching a movie. I'm the type person I'll watch the same movie over and over again. I'll do that. I actually like same thing with like albums. I bought like the hard copy of Mr. Morale, the J. Cole album drop. I buy hard copy. You know what I mean? And now I'm starting to get into buying the vinyls too, even though I gotta buy a good vinyl player. But anyway, that you as far as movies and stuff go, they'll just drop the shit off of the streaming platform, and then you got to figure out where to get it from, and you end up having to pay for it anyway. So it's like you will end up just never being able to see the shit. So like I got my classic like Shadows, you know what I mean, Paid in Full, Major Pain, you know what I mean. I got my classics that like, you know what I mean. I pay for them on Xbox, which that don't mean a guarantee they're gonna stay there either.
It's crazy. I literally was watching Moonwalker on Amazon Prime like the other week. I had just started watching just to play the show because I was bored. So I started it, but I ain't finished the show. I came back the next week to finish it. It had a price on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this was just free.
Yeah, bro.
You can still see my progress in the show.
You know something too? Another one too. I don't know if you ever watched Criminal Minds or SVU.
Nah.
Them shit's gone, bro. You got to pay for them.
This is good.
No, it's not, bro. That's bro. That was
niggas'
that junk,
minds.
bro. That was that junk. You sit down with your old lady and watch fucking Criminal Minds and SVU, all of them seasons, bro. Y'all will have a great time.
Bro, how you don't like the hood killing movies, but you watch like Special Victim Unit?
Yeah, because they
That
always
shit is
get
dealing
caught.
with like
It's because they always get caught. And that nigga right
niggas
there.
always go to jail.
Only part that I wish
Them
is that
niggas
they
can
show how
stick,
much
too.
time they get.
I guess.
Niggas always
All
get
I'm
caught.
saying, like criminal. I don't know. Let's just.
And it's usually white people.
I still I do want to speak on this meme real quick. I think it go along with the World Economic Forum stuff, the globalization stuff, as far as like what George Soros has been talking about, where in 2030 you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Like that's I think that stuff goes along with that movement. And I've been saying for a long time, like we give up freedom for convenience, and this has been a historical thing. Like every time we do stuff for convenience, we always end up leaving something behind. So I think that's it was.
Or what was it? Happiness versus freedom. I think
electric car. Go and trade in your gas car, get you an electric car.
Oh yeah, and a whole bunch.
No, I will do that.
You
a
will.
whole bunch of people who got electric cars is going back.
But no,
to
the
gas.
If I get an electric car, I'm keeping a gas car.
Electric
too.
car the way to go because like eventually, you know, they're gonna like power those with sustainable, renewable energy.
That shit sound good. You got to buy another car.
Like I'm saying, when I do buy another car,
But like if
You
it's
know what I'm saying? Is that you buy one now, you'll still have to buy another one whenever that time period that you talking about comes.
yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna have to
saying,
buy another
I'm
one.
saying eventually, like you know, gas is like something that will run out. Solar power
It's
stuff.
that
It's
well,
like that
never
stuff
mind.
is.
imagine
It takes
like
a long time
saving
for it to-
$50 a week. I ain't mad at it, bro.
Hey, I say just have both.
Hey Tone, can you put that that one meme up there before I roll into my
Which
question?
one?
The one
Oh,
you
the one
had.
I had.
We're not rolling.
We
in
ain't
the
doing
questions
that
right
today.
now.
You giving away season 6?
Oh shit! Never
Season
mind.
6
Never mind.
secrets.
Well then I'm done. I'm tapped out of my memes.
So
I'm tapped out of my memes.
Well, I'm up. Okay. I'm gonna start off with a funny one too. I like this.
If you arrive at an intersection with one or more other cars, do your best to go in the order you arrived. If you drive a BMW, always go first, because being courteous is for poor people. If you come across a yield sign, just pretend you didn't. Traffic lights have 3 different signals. Red for stop, yellow for slamming on the brakes so you can make everyone behind you stop even though 3 or 4 of you could have made it through, and green for go. When stopping at a red light, go completely past the stop line and stop with your front wheels just beyond the crosswalk. Great job. When the light turns green, try to finish up that text to your newest Tinder match before getting honked at and carrying on. If you arrive at an intersection,
That's funny.
You drive around Charlotte.
But the people who can't drive is I always say this, they're not from Charlotte.
Bro, we're like a dying breed almost. Like people from Charlotte being here still.
It's not too many.
It's not too many of us
Not
still
too many
here,
left.
bro. It's not too many.
Not too many of us left.
We rare.
All right. This is my next one here.
What people don't understand about addiction, which is actually the reason why I decline most invitations to speak about the topic, is that people think that addiction has to do with drugs and alcohol. And it has really very, very little to do with drugs and alcohol. First of all, there are other addictions. People become addicted to behaviors or to people, relationships. It doesn't have to be a chemical. But secondly, and much more importantly, what people don't get is that the drug that the person is using to numb themselves is not the problem, it's the solution. I'll say it again. The drug is not the problem. The drug is the solution. Yeah, it's a solution that destroys your life, but it's a solution nonetheless, meaning to say, the real issue of addiction is the underlying issue that the addict is attempting to address through the self-numbing behavior of the drug of choice. And what is that underlying condition? Very, very, very simple. A deep discomfort with one's own self. It's like being allergic to one's own self, uncomfortable in your own skin, terminally unique, lonely in a crowded room, always wanting to feel a part of, instead feeling apart from. And that is that gnawing feeling that the drug or the alcohol, the high-risk behavior is being used to numb the person from, to distract them from. What people don't understand about addiction.
Do you agree with that?
No, I don't really agree with that.
I'm glad he played this because I've always had a question like this. I just wanted to see, like, I guess people that are still being how I want to say productive in life that also dibble and dabble in vices, right? So do you, I don't, for like alcohol, right? I don't drink alcohol to numb the pain of something or to place blinds over something that's actually going on in my real life.
But I don't think that's the type of addiction he's talking about. Like, I mean, if it's you're functioning with it, but he's talking about when this becomes to where like you're not functioning.
I see.
Like if you take it to that extreme, you are like.
Oh, is he talking about like hard addiction?
Yeah, it must be just like hard addiction because he didn't say that, but that sounds like okay. If
I imagine is like what he's talking. Like if you're like strung out or something, like it's some form, even like doom scrolling, like on social media, it's like an escapism that like. I
don't think that that's. There's so many things you could be addicted to that's not like indicative of like hating yourself.
I would say the only thing I don't agree with him on in the meme is like the reason that of the underlying addiction that he was saying.
Oh,
like I don't think everybody's underlying reason is necessarily that, but I do think that everybody has an underlying reason for the things that they are addicted to, whether you're functioning with it or not.
I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even want to get hung up on him like saying like that end part because I don't think everybody's reason was the same. But I do think that there is a reason, and even the reason I shared it, it was like because I've been going through this time. Y'all know my beliefs, and what I've been going through in like recent times or whatever. It seems like God has been bringing up the darkest stuff that I've kind of ignored, and I don't see it as a negative thing. It's like it's a time where I need to like it's hard, but I'm having to face some things. Like it's like, hey, you need to fix this, or you need to go fix. Like you remember this, like you still have these things in your heart you ain't never addressed. You need to fix that. Like it's like some of the darkest things been coming up. But I also realized like where there are addictions that are attached to those things, whether it be procrastination, it's not all like drugs.
Right.
Like procrastination is one of my addictions, like or it's different things.
Addicted to I guess that's such an interesting framing of the idea of procrastination. I understand what you're saying. One shout out TBI, that's the after show legend. But I don't know, to me, like there's so many different because I don't look at addiction. That's it. I think we're addicted to so many things. Like I don't know specifically what my reason for my sugar addiction is. I love some sugar.
Because it's in every fucking thing.
Right. But but there's no underlying reason outside of like sugar is so easily accessible. And it tastes good. So if the reason is that I like shit that tastes good, then that's cool. But
it's also a dopamine hit.
A bit, but then like so if we're saying yes,
like
we're addicted,
like just
addicted to dopamine. So then we're just taking it purely at I'm
Just
addicted
like
to
to
the
feel
pleasure
good.
principle.
So
And I think that that's okay, but that's also not specifically notating. Well, I guess I'm going back to what he said. Like, if the underlying reason of why we do most things is the, all right, my bad. I believe the underlying reason of why we do most things is the pleasure principle. So to me, that's almost like a given, and I wouldn't put addiction as a being justified because of simply the pleasure principle, or the underlying reason being because of the pleasure principle, because of that's something that we do in every facet of life, in my opinion.
I would definitely say just examine the reasoning behind whatever you're addicted to.
I
Whether it's
agree
a
with
small
that.
thing or a big thing, like examine the reasoning behind it, because sometimes it might not actually align with your values, and you'll be doing something and it's not even aligning with your values. You're just doing it out of need or something that happened in the past.
Yeah, I was about to say it's repetition. Yeah, a lot of the times I catch myself because I am a repetitive person. I actually like a structure, the expectation. You know what I mean? From people I'm around, I like to be able to be like, okay, my wife's gonna have this done at this time, so that makes it so that I can do this, and that it allows you to have a structure. I was in the military; everything was fucking structured. So I guess I became like that. Became the way I would rather my life be, and so like I'm super. I call it like sometimes being like zombie a bit.
I dig it. And the 11 people that's in the chat again. If there's any new viewers coming, we're gonna get to the election talk. We like to warm it up a little bit. Format of our show, we warm up with some memes, but we're gonna get to it. We're gonna talk about Kamala. We're gonna talk about it looks like Teflon Don. We're gonna get to it. We just warming up right now. Stay with us. Who's up? Is it?
I have one more real quick, and then I'm done.
But I'm out of the music industry because ain't no money in the music industry. And I know people might get mad and trip, but I'm just saying, y'all know it's a lot of things that we used to do. It ain't no money, and it done tapped out. They trying to figure out how to make money off of streams. When Snoop put a post up, say, man, I sold 1 billion streams. I only made this little money. Where the millions at? We knew where our money from because we had tangible goods. And that's why I got into the product game. We could actually have tangible goods. I told people all the time, product outweighs talent. Product gonna be around when we not here. Michael Jordan is still successful because of the shoes, not because him shooting balls into the hoop. That been over. Father Time did that. But guess what? Look at the business he was able to create. African American owned. So people laugh at me, say, well, Pete, why you came up with cereal? We're the #1 consumer cereal. Go look and see how much those big companies make off of us. And then people tell me, oh, well, you got sugar in the cereal. They've been having sugar in their cereal for 100 years. So you wouldn't want me to build a brand and a company and put money back into our community, educate our people, give our people opportunities and jobs, but y'all gonna let them do it? That's like somebody saying, don't make Snickers. If we make a Snicker, oh man, the black man got a Snicker with sugar. That was the Snicker Ben had. What you want me to make? A sugar-free Snicker? We have to deprogram our mindset and stop hating on, but I'm out of the.
The one thing I will say is, and I understand exactly what he's saying, but my kids ain't eating them goddamn salty ass chips, bro.
They saltier than they used to be.
Yeah, I just say we ain't eating those. We ain't eating those,
like
and I don't eat them myself either. No, I'm talking about the wrap snacks.
Oh yeah, those do be.
You can just look at them Jones, and you can them Jones got a coat on them. they coating them, son. But I ain't knocking your hustle. Do your thing. I think it's dope. You know what I mean? To have the wrappers on the bag and they, you know what I mean, different flavors and all that. That's dope. I'm just not gonna partake. But you know what I mean? If I bought some, I'd put them up in the man cave like my homie Tank do. Just put them up in the man cave, and you know what I mean? Just as one of those design feature things. But I ain't eating them.
Oh, it's like a collectible.
Yeah, collectible John. But I ain't eating them Jones. No of my kids eating them Takis and all that. No.
Kids can't get the Takis.
Nah, bro.
Oh, them Takis ain't it, bro.
Them Takis got kids going to goddamn hospital and shit.
Yeah, like I don't know why.
I know kids go to the hospital for everything, but I ain't going. I'm not going to.
How many Takis you got to eat?
You're about to say that.
I don't know,
kids
bro.
Been eating Takis for like a decade now.
And
I ain't even know they was out that long.
Yeah, this ain't new at all. Them Takis, hot Cheetos and Takis. Hot Cheetos and Takis.
I like hot Cheetos, but I stopped eating them because they'll fuck you up.
I was about to say that.
I get a bag of hot fries every now and then.
Them Hispanic
Dorito hot fries.
Them hot Cheetos.
I had to get off them Jones. I gotta get off the chips in general, bro. I'm a chip guy.
I like chips too.
I'm a chip guy and fries. Fries will make or break your goddamn establishment for me, bro. You got good wings and your fries is trash, bro. It's like, get a little bit less. You got to eat them at Checks.
Yeah,
if you got to dine in and eat them, yeah. If you don't dine in and eat them, and then you leave them in that the styrofoam joint, they're gonna be all moist.
Quick debate: what's the best fries? I'm crinkle cut all day, bro.
Shoestring.
No, I like the best ones is gonna be like the Arby's joint. The what they call
curly fries.
Curly fries, bro.
It just depends when Arby's has the best curly fries.
Arby's has the best curly fries.
Like the thing about a curly fries that it can end up being soggy. And a lot of times it ends up.
Oh, it's because yeah. I don't even know where else you get the either way. Go ahead.
Nah, that crinkle cut though from Culver's.
I still ain't ate Culver's. This is a lot of white folk being line.
Culver's is their burgers is.
Yeah. Culver's got good. That's the only thing I really had from.
I thought it was
I don't
a fish
remember
place.
their fries.
Nah,
I don't remember their fries.
Hey, them fries good too, bro.
I'm gonna go eat Culver's this week. I'm gonna try it out.
My Sharon say homemade fries. All right, who next? Was it real?
Yeah, it's real.
Homemade fries, as long as you get the seasoned fries that come in the what's the black or Checkers.
Oh, those the ones that those the ones I have in it. That's
those the good ones. You make them at home,
bro.
But they
We ate so much Checkers in school. I don't even want them fries now, bro.
Hey, that'll happen, bro. It was a Sonic right there by Livingstone that everybody used to walk up to.
We had a Checkers on campus, and you could use your Viking bucks to eat there. Like, it was the only restaurant on campus at the time too. So yeah, I don't want no Checkers fries.
So I guess
shut up, McDonald's fries.
I'll say McDonald's fries.
Bro, McDonald's just killing folk, bro.
Yo, you can smoke.
Hey, I die happy.
Yo,
though.
I see somebody smoke one of their fries, bro. Like literally, like light that thing up and smoke it like a cigarette.
Nah, you just got too much time.
You can smoke their fries.
Why are you even thinking that?
I don't even know why they thought of it, but that was crazy.
That don't sound healthy.
What you got for us, bro?
Oh, mine's I got probably just 3 funny ones, bro. And I'm gonna tap out quick.
Go
with
right here.
No, matter of fact, I'm sorry. Can you go up one more? Give me the top one right there, and then you can give me the last 2, and we'll be here.
Say crack my fingers 3 times.
Crack my finger, crack my finger, crack my finger.
Okay, now this is the hard part. Say crack my finger backward.
Finger my crack, finger my crack, finger my crack.
Turn around real quick.
I ain't been turn around. Oh man, what the f, man? Why you do that shit, man?
Do what?
I told you I was doing that shit no more, man. You did it again, man.
Did what again?
Oh, you in.
Say crack my fingers 3 times.
Crack my finger, crack
See,
my
this
finger.
type of shit that I wake up early in the morning before I go to work and like start my day out with some real tears. All right, go down and give me the one up under that one and then give me the last one.
Yeah, I think we can just switch a couple people around and then just coordinate the timing.
I know you're upset because of what I didn't do in our bed. Sometimes I regret, then I question what's wrong with your head. Cause I'm not gonna eat your ass.
I'm on the phone.
I'm not gonna eat your ass. Just because I don't want to doesn't mean I don't love you. But I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna eat your ass.
Imagine being on the Zoom call.
It's gonna hit that mute button, man, bro. But that actually was a banger, though. I like it. Like, I could imagine Bruno Mars making it.
Bruno Mars, bro. Bruno Mars had what was it? The lazy song,
bro. Why else somebody do that with AI? I would want to hear that. That's what you need. That's what people.
CeeLo,
need
I think.
AI.
No, yeah, the CeeLo right there.
Oh no, give me that one right there above the last one, and then I'm done.
What's good, my brother?
Hey, how you doing, man?
$1,000 I shall double and give it to the next person.
Give it to me.
You?
No, we're gonna double it.
Y'all together, right?
No, I don't know him.
Yeah, you do.
So do y'all want me to double
You
it?
know what? Let's go. If you can win money, I'll take it. But I don't know you, man.
Give it to the next person.
Double it and give me what did I get out of it?
Nothing. We're gonna give it to the next person.
No, we.
We're doubling it? You're a good sir. Excuse me. Would you like $1,000 or shall I double it and give it to the next person?
I'll take it. Oh, yeah. See, man, Man, get off
We
my
just
face,
bust
man.
that
Knock your
man.
ass out.
We just
Oh,
bust
get
that
off my
man.
face, man. Get the fuck out my
You
face.
come up to me.
Get the fuck out my face.
It's okay, bro.
No, get the fuck out my face.
What's good, my brother?
Hey, how you doing, man?
$1,000 a shot double and get.
All right, I
Bro.
tap out for the day.
Bro, nah, bro.
Let me put that finger up.
That is good. I love like the like that version of comedy, like the Walmart, like like the real person interaction with like the trolling. I think my favorite guy is Damon Darling, the got $1. That
He
guy,
is fucking hilarious.
he's hilarious.
You look like you need $1.
Yeah.
I see this black lady there.
Yeah.
He be going up to white folks.
But then he has everything so like routine. So like if you say you don't have $1, you have $1. And if you don't, he'll pull it out and be like, everybody should have a damn dollar. I didn't know you were poor. And he like, and then he'll just like, he has a bunch of like those little things that he has like a full, like either way you go trope. And it's hilarious watching people kind of wiggle through it.
Yeah, as long as it's not those dudes to be like trying to get their ass whooped in Walmart with the trolls.
Oh, no, I don't
Oh, nah, bro's trying to get his ass whooped in that meme, though. You came up and interrupted me, give my $1,000. He came to me first, and then he gave it away right in front of him, too.
That's what made old buddy.
That's what, yeah, bro.
You saw that man. Oh, I'll take it.
Oh no, we're good. We'll double it.
I don't know you. You already said we.
I don't know you.
He come around the corner out of nowhere. All right.
So
yeah.
Q.
Yeah, we can get to it. Refresh it. It should have what you call it?
Not gonna eat your ass.
Okay, cool. Let's start off with DT right there. The
homie.
Shout out the homie.
Shout out DT.
More game to artists because I started out as an artist before I picked the camera up and started doing all the rest of the shit. So as an artist, I'm gonna just help you out because I've learned being behind the camera that I've gotten way more doors that I would have ever reached being an artist because maybe your style isn't what they're trying to hear at the time, or it's just not the way, just not the moment, whatever. But with the camera, you're always a necessity, you always need it. So you can kind of get in the door way easier. But I always say as an artist, kind of learn another trade in what you're trying to do. Like I can, if I went back to music, easily I could shoot my own music videos. Simple. But you might want to be an engineer so you can engineer yourself. That way you ain't got to pay, engineers and shit. You know how to mix and do all that shit yourself. So with that said, learn a trade in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're making music, learn something in it. I was talking to somebody and I said, I'm gonna kick a little more game to artists.
No, that's
I think that like that was the story of like my music career and then shit, like what ended up landing me my job that I currently have.
Oh shit, even what we doing now.
Yeah, even to like, what we do now where like learn trades within what you want to do because eventually if you need these things done, there's probably somebody else that that needs it done, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can leverage that.
And like if it's something you're really passionate about, there's always something to learn. Like from like if you're a rapper, like or you're a music artist, there's engineering, there's videos, there's always something else that you can, kind of dive into that's gonna give you a little more depth on that. What's up, bro? What's up?
You got a ponytail back there?
No, it's just hair long.
But
all right.
We'll have to check that ponytail after the show. You got to see it after the show, bro. I'm not gonna forget.
My boy got a tether tail back there. Bro.
He said he from the suburbs, bro.
That's a Caribbean tail back there, ain't it? I knew it.
No, that's indigenous, man.
That's indigenous.
From the land.
But you know something too, though. It's you know how they always like build the team, right? Build the team. And I think there's merit to that. That's factual. Building a team, having a team is very helpful. But the thing is that you learn more when you don't have a team. You end up learning more. You end up having to step into different areas and like, you know what I mean? And then I think that it helps a lot of the times because once you had to get your hands dirty, you actually can articulate to them what you're looking for them to do.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
And so like I realized like when I was like solely relying on other people to do everything for me, and then like when I ended up having to do it myself, and it was like, oh shit, do I have enough money to pay for these things? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you end up just, you know what I mean? And that's another thing too, like buying a home too. It's gonna come a time where it ain't for the faint heart. Unless you buy like a brand new construction, you'll get some time. But it's gonna come a time when some shit gonna start breaking.
Oh, your house always.
You know what I mean? So that it's good to like take some time to you when you start diving into things that are grand like that. It's always good to find new tools that'll assist along the way. Is all I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah. Always add something to the toolbox, and like you say, like even with the home or your job, like learning, something else, because there's always depths to things. You think you understand something till you start reading about it, and then you learn, oh damn, it's all these different, advanced concepts, and that's really where your, growth and progression in something's gonna be once you start, putting in, that getting into them 10,000 hours. You're gonna once you start getting up there to it, you're gonna really get better. It's gonna, you're gonna see fruits of your labor.
Hey, shout out Uncle Eddie, Aunt Vanessa. Sound like they in the building, but above that, it sounds like Johnny has a Texas tether tail. Is that what
he got a Caribbean tether tail at the back of his head? Actually, he tried to act like he from Texas. It has a bad shag in the back.
He called you Roy Jones.
Yeah. All right.
Yellow Beezy.
All right, so I guess this will start us a little bit into a segue of the political conversations. We can start off a little bit with scroll up. It stays inside the same spot. This is Earn Your Leisure, but this will be something going to a Trump policy that I do think is interesting to kind of think about. Yeah, hit it.
Say the economy.
We have a labor shortage in America. There are a lot of jobs that Americans do not want to do or don't want to do it for the amount of money that is going to be optimal to get the job done.
Or they're not advertised publicly for you to be able to even get them.
No, this is a fact. So any non-union construction job, building a home.
Yep.
If you've ever built a home, these people that are building your homes, highly good chance that they're not documented. They're not documented. I'm just being honest. This is a fact. They work from sun up to sundown. They don't complain. They get the job done in a very efficient manner. You go to any farms down south, like real industrial farms down south, California, farmers sued the administration 4 years ago when they tried to implement this because they said if they take these people away, we are not going to be in business.
It's going to be over with.
They're doing jobs that Americans can't do. They know that. That's what I'm saying. The politicians play off of people's ignorance. They understand. These people are very intelligent people at the highest level possible. They know if you deport every undocumented immigrant in America right now, it would crash.
So,
don't say that because when
I guess that to me that does lend to just like I think it lends to an interesting conversation. I'll put it like that, where there is a bunch of variables that comes with like deportation or bringing jobs back to America, or what is the tariffs? Like there's a bunch of like moving parts and nuances that are interesting. But I do think if Trump does the quote unquote full mass deportation as it is, especially because like I said, this is an interesting part. There is a labor shortage in America. Unemployment set like an all-time low, to where people don't really want to do jobs outside of what the hell they want to do. And taking away a huge portion of the unskilled labor market that does, in essence, quote unquote, the dirty work is going to have a big impact on our quote unquote market, our inflation, XYZ. And to me, it sounds like it'll spike inflation. Of course, maybe there's some controls. Maybe this is like another push for like the onset of huge sweeping changes with automation or something like that. But that's the only way I could see a mass deportation happening, but it not resulting in inflation at a high rate.
And you saying like the way you could see it happening, not
if they automated it.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying. And you know the thing, you know, I'm in construction, and so there are quite a bit of, I would probably say, I can't say that they are not legal, but like generally, if you at a certain age and you don't speak English, it's be like, you may, you know what I mean? But they definitely do the work. They don't complain.
Are
You know
they
what I mean?
illegal?
Huh?
Are they illegal?
That's what I'm saying. They could be. They could be. Could not be. You know what I mean? There's no way to actually know. I think that, see, the thing is that in order to have real change, there's going to be some discomfort. There's gonna, if you're making real change, there will be some discomfort. Hopefully, it's just not as bad as it seems to. You know what I mean? That it seems that it could be, as far as like inflation driving up crazy and all of that.
I just want to know what would be like. How do they combat what's going to be a huge labor shortage inside?
What I've seen too is like in like the grass, in like the when they what are they? I don't want to just say grass cutting industry, but grass cutting industry, they do like work visas, lawn care. There you go, lawn care. That's a better way to say it.
Trump, like that's
no. I'm just saying. I'm just showing like in another way that they.
Oh no, I get like there could be like proper
here.
workarounds if it wasn't pretty much the idea of like we're trying to deport all of them and they need to go through this process, and until then they stay in their ass inside Mexico. And like we're tough on immigration. We want to close the border for X amount of time to reset. Like that's kind of like his what he's running on conceptually.
But you know, a lot of the time, I'm pretty much every time it be a lot of cap in the. You know what I mean? If you take it for his word, then yeah, it'll be.
And that's why I feel like if he does do what's said, at the level that he says that
he'd be talking like Trey sometimes, just using strong words to
well,
evoke an emotion,
he's
strong
lose
emotion.
He'll lose a lot of support from, because there's a lot of conservatives that are using like
very much so
illegal labor. And like,
so shit, Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
There's not gonna, I mean, they're not gonna let him, you know, fuck their jobs up. They're not gonna send them all back unless
they gonna hide some in the shack back.
Like, hey, Trump, don't send my 15 like Schindler's List.
Yeah, but you know the fucked up thing. You look at him getting close to Elon, then him saying what he's saying about the and then the AI is really. Then you get the tax break. The tax break for the rich, so they get a little bit more money to be able to implement the AI. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, part of Trump's agenda, he was for AI and like the pushing of like that whole little thing. And I kind of address this a little bit really quick. Hey, chat, this is not an unpacked chat. Let's avoid the ad hominems in the chat.
They're getting it in already.
Yeah, they being extra for a little bit. Let's stay civil in the chat for To Be Fair show. Let's say those are unpacked.
Yeah, we're supposed to have fun on Sundays.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun on Sundays. But nonetheless, yeah, I do like in my mind. The biggest fear that I would have of a Trump presidency probably goes with his relationship with Elon Musk and what that could mean.
Shows ago.
And yeah,
and
like
how tight they aligned themselves. Like at first it seemed like, oh, okay, that is kind of alarming. But then it was like they started like getting closer and closer. And as you heard Trump, like even in the Joe Rogan podcast, the way he spoke of them, generally when he's speaking that highly of people. There's some shit going on. You know what I mean? He don't really just be speaking highly of people that, you know what I mean?
Well, there's an argument to be made that Elon Musk bought possibly the biggest platform and made it to where it was a pro-Trump, anti-Kamala platform. And like his impact on actually winning him the election is heavy. Even if you think about Joe Rogan's endorsement of Trump at the last second came from his interview with Elon. And he said that how Elon spoke and a lot of the things that he said ended up being the like the thing that pushed him over the edge of Trump. And if you understand or heard Trump speak in general, he's all about loyalty and like you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Facts.
And like I said before, with Elon, one thing you know for a fact, he has no problem firing
Fire
a
the
bunch
shit
of
out of
mother.
their ass. Well, fire their ass. Come in and just had a security walking motherfuckers out. Hey,
tap him on the shoulder.
Hey,
hey, man.
Yeah.
Log out.
We can get to the last one. This is
I want to say one thing too.
Yeah. I was
Okay,
gonna say like they probably gonna want black people to you remember them black jobs he was talking about?
Oh, those the black
jobs.
jobs.
The black jobs they get rid of.
But black unemployment so low. Black people ain't like.
It was a joke, bro.
It was yeah.
Okay, my bad.
I'm
I'm trying to engage in the joke seriously. My bad. They throwing niggas back in the
one
field.
thing, the one thing that I do find, like, I'm not afraid of either. I wasn't afraid of either one of them, but one thing that I do think that would be crazy is if for him to get more Supreme Court justices, because he got off. What he had, like 4.
I think he's had 3.
Three. So if he was to get a few more, I heard some people talk about if he was to get elected that they would resign. Like if he was to get a couple more Supreme Court justices, that would be one of those things that would be crazy.
I recently looked at like the ages of the justices, and I mean,
he said I'm picking them young. That's the goal, right? They pick them young. I'm like, bro, those are the people that really control shit.
A little bit,
a lot of bit.
Okay,
I ain't saying go ahead.
Yeah, but like
we gotta have a civics discussion.
Yeah,
it's easy to jump into it too. Like, go ahead.
Oh no, I looked at. I was recently looking. One part of it is the people that will be resigning would still be conservatives that's resigning. So it wouldn't like swing it necessarily inside the opposite way as much as like it would add tenure to that specific perspective on the Supreme Court.
But the thing is that I don't believe that like conservative previously meant what it's seeming to mean now. Like it's excuse me, with the left moving so far left and Trump being like Trump, to me, he's like, or a lot of the people that support him and the ideals, they're pretty far right. What was it? What is it like? John McCain, Republican versus
But I don't know if I specifically believe that as much.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I guess I think that the extremists are fans of Trump for sure, but I don't think that majority of Trump fans, or not, or I guess really fans,
for him this
are
time.
But that
specifically
Supreme Court justice, what was that? The female, was it the female Supreme Court justice was the one that passed the abortion ban, right? She was like the deciding.
Who you talking about? The Kantaji?
It was the most recent one that he appointed, right? I had to pull that up.
Like if he was a tie-breaking vote, but if he appointed it, she's likely like conservative, and like they just been waiting to be able to have the majority in the Supreme Court.
No, I get that, but okay, good.
And a part of that is like,
continue.
like
We ain't really getting there yet.
Yeah, I guess we haven't gotten there yet, but just a quick thing I said: the Dems, the difference between the Republicans and the Dems at times is the fact that the Dems don't use their power when it's important to do it. Who was it? Was it Obama? He had the option to like do the whole little Supreme Court thing, like it was like the tail end of his.
No, they didn't. They kind of they shunned against it. Like they were saying it was too late for him to be able to get one in, and so they was talking about it like it's too late. But then Trump got his like the last. He threw his in.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that
Trump don't give a fuck about norms.
But that's the point. My point is that could have got it in, but because of
how
even though
felt about it, Trump don't give a damn.
Trump went down and he got it done.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a deciding vote.
No, I'd agree.
Same difference like Obama had the House and like he had Congress for a little bit and he ain't really passed shit. I can guarantee you, Trump is looking like he's gonna have Congress and he gonna do something. Whatever that something is, I can guarantee you it's something about that.
Nah, dead ass.
But I going to the last my last meme. This is Vinny Dangerous. He's been on maybe First Listen before. He has like engaged inside our conversations a couple times, but he has his own podcast 1430. This is a meme that he dropped, and again, shout out to him. I'd love to get y'all reaction to this, and this probably will help jumpstart I don't know who's questioning or you know what I mean, a part of the conversation, but Tone.
So motherfuckers posting shit like this, and they're surprised that people don't rock with them the same because you loudly and proudly aligning yourself with bigotry, with sexism. You voted against women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights. You voted against affirmative action. You voted against a lot of things, even to your own benefit. And you're wondering why we don't want to fuck with you. Of course we don't want to fuck with you. You aligned yourself with everything that is actively against a lot of marginalized people, and you expect me to still fuck with you. You know, I'm caught between wanting to delete all these people that I follow that I didn't know were closeted Trump supporters until the election results came out. But then I also kind of want to keep them in my viewpoint because I want to see when things really start to hit the fan and shit start to affect them and they realize in real time the consequences of the decisions that they made and how it's really going to fuck with them, because it's going to fuck with you. Like, it's going to fuck with a lot of us. Like, it's going to fuck with you. It's going to fuck with your family, your friends, your children. The children you have are the children that are yet to be born. You're going to have to look all of those people in the eye.
Bro, hurry up.
You can mute it. So I do want to read it out just so we understand. It says how you treat someone that votes differently than you speaks volumes about your character. Yeah, I guess meme react.
I mean, since he really mad at people that vote?
Oh, he's really mad.
You can tell.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely how I feel. But I don't think that's like an uncommon sentiment from a lot of people on social media. So I think it's a fair thing to have a conversation about.
But I think it's I mean, if you look at the numbers, how people voted, black people are the ones that we're the only ones that's like begging for the system to give us something. Like, and we're the only one that, if you look, we voted super skewed left, and they haven't done anything for us. We're now in a conservative administration. They're not going to do anything. So as black people, we have to understand, like, politically, we have to balance ourselves out in order to achieve what we want to. And that's going to mean disagreeing with some people. It's going to mean somebody voting different than you. Black conservatives and black liberals can want the same thing for black people, just have a different mindset about going forward. And I think we get so caught up in this one side and just putting all those labels on the other side that we don't even do what's best for our benefit by, you know, making both sides actually actively work to earn our vote and respect our vote. We just give it away. Even in this election, and it's going to backfire on us because Trump won, and Trump was vindictive. He know black people didn't vote for him. Why is he going in the next 4 years? Why would he look out for us if us as a collective basically gave him a middle finger?
I think, well, this is one thing I'll say just to react to, bro. Who gives a shit if you unfollow them? Why do people act like you deleting me off your face? Bro, go ahead and do it, bro. I don't care, bro. I do not care, bro. Whatever you got to do, make it delete, unfollow, all of that, unfriend, whatever that is you got to do. I didn't vote for Trump, but I'm just saying, if you think so highly that people care about you following them, bro, nobody gives a shit, bro. I don't care. I don't care if you agree or disagree with the way I feel or move about, bro. I don't care. I have no reason to be trying to seek your validation for what I feel is the best, bro. And
You say that, but like Thanksgiving coming up, and this is something I'm about to running head first into. Thanksgiving, like, for people who may have voted for Trump but didn't vote for Kamala, if you got heavy Kamala supporters in your family, it's gonna be a fucking weird ass Thanksgiving. It was like that even over a lot of the COVID shit.
If you want to talk about it,
and I don't know if, like, what he's saying is that you're supposed to care that he's going to delete him. I think it's like it is the left's. What would it be? I mean, they're like, one might use the word like virtue signaling, but it's like more so saying that I think so badly of you if you did support this that I can't fuck with you. Not that you need me to fuck with you.
But this is the thing though, like if you feel that way, that means that our relationship prior to this fucking election meant nothing to you. The things that the things I stand on and the person that I was to you, you think that these people that we don't know,
they just brainwashed.
Do you know what I mean? You're literally too
so is there
I
things
believe
that
you're too convinced that this thing is supposed to work for you anyway.
So is there things that you would stop being friends with a person for?
Real life shit. Like if you touched a kid, like if you like not no politics shit.
So
I don't like
you don't believe politics is real life?
No, I don't believe that politics is a reason that I should either not friend you or you know what I mean? I don't talk to people about their political opinions before they become my homies. So like,
I get that, but
it's more
still
important things to me. They're like to me, that's like damn near the last thing that I'd care about to know whether you're a good person and whether I'm gonna fuck with you or not.
I understand what you're saying. I guess. So first, I'm gonna try and humanize it. Like my opinion still kind of lands on the other side of it. But if I'm humanizing the perspective, I would say that a lot of people are caught up on rhetoric,
right?
And the idea would be if you believe what they're saying to be true, then how they feel about you and what you're representing. And so that's more so, in my opinion, I don't believe what they're saying to be true. So I don't specifically care. But there's people that might believe what's being said to be true, i.e., I don't know, like they're all racist, they're all bigots, they hate women, they like, and if you believe that and it's a person that's aligning with that, then I can see if you are like completely for, let's say, like black liberation or whatever the version of thing is, that could be a line in the sand that you would have.
And I would say, bro, if you feel like because I'd rather have the conversation to see, oh, so you what is it that you believe in? Let's have the conversation full out. So like I can show you that it wasn't that I was making an uneducated decision. I was actually very much informed. I may have been much more informed than you were. You were just watching the news and you've started to feel a way. But if you continue, I would say that if you need to disconnect, then disconnect. You know what I mean? You can have valid feelings. You can have valid feelings. I'll just say, bro, I mean, if that's how you feel, if you allow the divisiveness of the two-party system, that it's designed to, if you fall right into the box that they try to get you to fall into, and I'm not valuable enough to your life to where you would do, bro, go ahead, bro.
And what I'd say is
I think whatever's healthiest for you, go ahead and do that, bro.
I think the issue, in my opinion, with the statement and what he's saying, well, we was talking about the addiction earlier, and he was getting at like the root cause of like things. And in my opinion, the root cause of a person having that reaction is the fear mongering of how elections are ran.
Right.
And the fact that there is like a vote or die sentiment that's attached to both sides. Because the reality is also, if Kamala won, there's going to be people on the right saying and doing the exact same thing. Like if you're for having your kids turn into like that was going to be ran down and people was going to be mad, right? They was going to be saying that the election was rigged and we going
in the Capitol.
Like these same hyperbolic feelings and thoughts were going to exist on both sides. And to me, like the first part is that there is a vote or die mentality that, to me, I hope and pray that this ends up being like the last version of that.
Absolutely.
When it comes down to like elections. But I wrote this, to me, this sums up my perspective on this in general and how I feel. Says, let's make this the last vote or die election. The fear mongering and shame tactics is clearly not working in our favor, and it has lost the last 2 out of 3 elections if you're a Democrat. There's clearly a disconnect that unfriending, blocking, and deleting people won't solve. Eventually, we're going to all have to leave our carefully curated echo chambers to have real conversations and with real people to find out real solutions. And I think that the blocking, the unfriending, the yelling online. This is what ends up being the issue, is that we curate our own special bubbles and we forget that there's a whole America outside that have like very specific things that they care about and matters to them. And what we could easily get caught up on is the algorithmic fear mongering that sends us like specific rhetoric about how you should hate this one candidate. And the other side's getting this exact same thing, but there is an underlying meaning and feeling that exists. And to me, I don't believe that all Republicans, all Trump supporters, any of those things are all racist. But that's the easiest thing to assume. And to me, when you assume that off the gate, and that's what you characterize that as, you lose the actual real conversation that's going to provide solutions, especially if you are a Democrat.
That shit was so crazy. Like, I actually talked to a few, like, I figured you was going to vote Republican, so I just want to ask you why. And I've gotten honest answers. You know what I mean? Honest answers. And that what I realize is that a lot of us are voting Democrat for the very same reason that a lot of them are voting Republican.
Yeah.
And see, once you start to humanize it, it's like, no, it's not that you're racist. It's just that your grandfather, your father, your mother, you know what I mean? They're going to do it. That's what they're telling you in the house. That's all you know. That's all you've ever heard. And just like on us, like, I voted the way my dad and mom and grandpops and grandma, I voted that way all the way until this election. I've done that my entire life.
Oh, who you vote for?
I didn't vote.
Oh.
But I had done that my entire life.
I ain't gonna say it.
Oh, you know what I mean? I don't mind saying it. Hey, at the end of the day, I wasn't convinced on either side. Huh? What'd you say?
He said that they gonna end.
Nah,
To me, I would say my only pushback to, well, I ain't got this necessarily pushback, but I would have like encouraged you to actually vote,
to vote because
just to be able to be a number in the system that can be moved on either way.
Yeah,
But
I understood that even when I made the decision.
I can't.
Man, no, this is the exact same problem I have. Like, this system, this whole American system was built off of people being able to make decisions on what they want to make decisions on. And what happened in this election is that for some reason, the Democrats feel like they're entitled to the black vote, like point blank. There's a danger if we was all 100% to agree that these people should be it. I don't know how people don't see a problem with that. Like, there's like that like if 100% of black people voted and was like, yeah, Kamala, there would be a problem in our community. That's a real problem if 100% of the people is just thinking the exact same way. Like,
I mean, you don't see that in any community.
Exactly.
Except I think if you looked at the only other by race group that voted one direction or the other in a higher number than us was Native Americans. I think they voted red like 60-something%.
But my whole
still way.
But I mean, like,
I guess are we? No, I got you. Are you connecting this to that meme, or are you
I'm still
going
connecting
like a
it to the
different?
meme?
Okay.
Like, so the same thing I'm saying is like feeling like you're entitled to the black vote, and then on top of that, like, dang, I lost my train of thought, bro. It'll come back up because we still about to keep on this conversation. Go ahead and push forward where you was going.
Oh no, I just wanted clear. I want to see if you were like, if we were like starting to move away, or if you were staying to it. I wasn't trying to like move the conversation.
On your time anyway. I think what you resting at.
Oh,
on your time.
Yeah, no. If we don't, that was my third meme. If in general we don't have any other comments. Like I said, I do think that the fear mongering part does kind of like play a huge space, and I think that that's what we really need to just move away from, what we need to divorce ourselves from, and hopefully there won't be another quote unquote vote or die election. Like we've heard this since like 2004, vote or die. Shout out to well, I don't know, is it appropriate to shout Diddy out anymore?
Oh no.
Okay, no,
all
right,
no,
we can't do that. But
no.
I remember
we don't diddle around them parts, bro.
Okay,
diddle dappling around. But what you was finna say, Tone?
Also, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like there was an audacity here with this guy who was talking to me. Like, every time I get ready to say, I end up losing my train of thought.
I got told hot over there. You got what you about to say.
I be thinking of other stuff, and then you say something else, and I start thinking there too.
But yeah, I think it's kind of like it kind of shows a closed-mindedness you gonna
Yeah, to me, it just sounds like he believes the rhetoric.
like
And a lot of people, unfortunately, and again, like I don't push this on either side. Like I think that this is almost bipartisan. Too many people believe the rhetoric.
But my problem is that just listen to it on both sides. At the end of the day, if you're listening to the rhetoric simply on one side, it's easy for you to be one-sided. But if you're watching the other side do the same thing, you know what I mean? Then it's like, okay, well, this becomes
what's true out of this rhetoric and what's a lie.
which is the reason why I sat out, because I realized like this is a fucking circus. I feel like both of you are playing on our perceived ignorance,
stupidity.
You know what I mean? I feel like y'all are just like, and I just want to, I'm gonna opt out of, and this is my personal feeling. And I understand if you voted, I think that you did what you should have done. But what I personally felt that I was going to do is that I was going to opt out of the rat race in general. Well, now I won't call it a rat race. I'll just say that I felt disrespected on both sides. I remember the first time when I voted for Biden, and I felt disrespected by me not giving enough time to even listen to anything Trump said, because I was convinced by the rhetoric. I felt disrespected in that I was, not only was I perceived to be ignorant, I acted as ignorant as well, because I didn't even attempt to get any information from the other side. So I started to feel a way about that. Then this time it was like, okay, well, we doing the show. We listening to both sides. We actually going and listening to actually breaking down policies. I'm watching Unpack. I'm learning more and more on both sides. And then it's like, okay, I'm listening to my pops talk. And every single time he come with the emotion, I can break down his whole talking point. You got all this emotion, and none of the shit you emotional about is actually real. Because I watched the full video. I sat here and looked at 2 hours, the 3-hour Joe Rogan interview. Like, you saying like, oh, he's an idiot. Oh, did you watch the Joe Rogan interview? He's clearly not an idiot. He's pandering to his people. They like short, small sentences and small words. So he's going to give you short sentences and small words.
So let me
depending on where I'm going to talk at.
I want to stop you there. I want to stop you there.
You're going to get in trouble.
I want to stop you there because that's exactly the sentiment that I wanted to get at. Whether it's, and I want to clarify too, I ain't vote either way. I didn't like, and I can explain why I didn't vote later on, but I ain't vote either. But the whole thing is this whole sentiment that on either side, that people are certain, like, if you believe in this or if you voted this way, you are such and such and so and so, and you got a small brain and all of that stuff. I can't stand that, because you just assuming what you think about something. Like, it really shows me a lot about you, what you sit there and go around and think about people, because it's like, to be so, like, to just sum it up to somebody's an idiot because they voted in a different direction and you don't have any idea why they voted in their direction. One smart reason I can see to vote for Trump, I think black people, and we're gonna have this conversation at a point, but I think black people are more vigilant and would be paying more attention to what's going on in politics than what they would be if Kamala would have got in office. We've seen it, because it's the same thing happened with Biden. We stopped paying attention until we was forced to have to pay attention because stupid shit was happening. But we stopped paying attention. Everybody got calm after the last election. Oh yeah, Trump out of office. It's all over. Yeah, I don't want that. I want us to stay on the tip. So I can see that's a smart reason. You don't know if there was people who was voting for that reason. Like, you have no idea what people's mentality is a lot of the time. So to just assume somebody's an idiot and you have no idea, and I'm saying this on either side, because there was people who was voting for Kamala, and people was like, oh, well, you a pedophile because you voting for Kamala. No, they're not necessarily. You don't know what reason they're deciding to go that
he
route.
meant PDF file. Adobe file.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't get it
my fault. But my fault, bro. But it's people who was going those directions. It's like, you don't know what reason. So like, just to assume and to have the audacity to assume that you're like somebody else's vote belongs to you and they got to vote in the direction. That is what this country built off of. We able to vote how we want to. Individually, we all got the right. I don't have no right to tell you how you supposed to vote, and you ain't got no right to tell me whether I voted or not. Like, me choosing not to exercise that so-called right, it's fine for me. That's my choice.
Hey, I seen a white dude on MSNBC blaming black men. And I was so fucking hot, bro. Like,
wait, you seen that post-election?
That's crazy.
Yeah, talking about us not coming out and him saying,
okay, go ahead.
And I don't know when it was aired. I watched it after the election. I don't know when it came out. I'm not sure when exactly it came out, but he was talking
maybe talk about a specific state or
but I was just mad as a white man to blame black folks for Democrats
or black
moving
men,
you got to stay in your place, because like we allowed to do whatever we want to
Hey,
do.
can you find that? I want to see it.
Let me look it up.
I'll only say that because of, to me, prior to the election, there was a narrative that was saying like, oh, black men are going, and I heard it on both sides also, that was pushing the narrative that one, black men were about to make an exodus, and then that black men's exodus was going to be an issue in this election.
Right.
And in general, that didn't happen.
Well, you can tell even the Democrats thought so too. That's why she came out with the plan for black men.
Right. But the thing is that didn't happen. In post-election, I haven't personally heard the blame being pushed at black men or black women.
I seen it on social media at first, but then you seen that there was the graph started going around.
Yeah, and then
niggas started putting the graph in the comment.
Corrected within like,
you was finna catch
Joe Scarborough,
smoke.
that's his name.
Soon as niggas was hot about that because we already knew it was coming. And as soon as we seen that graph, it was like, okay, don't worry about it.
Niggas got that rule out they pocket.
I ain't gonna lie, I screenshotted that motherfucker. Even though I didn't vote for it, I was like, okay, whenever I see this, matter of fact, I know old head gonna come with that shit. Let me screenshot this real quick. As soon as he said, I threw it right in his face.
But yeah, all right. So you said you got it, or you all right? So
here, I'm gonna put it in the group chat.
Okay. No, send it to the actual page.
Okay.
But
how long is it?
Like 30 seconds.
Okay,
that's fine.
But I guess going to what we were just at, y'all speaking about like pandering, people playing you feel fool, and yeah, both sides of the whole thing, and also not voting. I guess that was another piece of the pie. So I know for me, this was like specifically my like, I think it's easy to get caught up in pandering if you're not trying to like, if you don't have a principled reason of why you're voting. And like, so for me throughout, like there's a couple things that through this process, I kind of had to figure out where I aligned that principally. So for me, you know, like I had to find out why am I voting? And then after understanding why I'm voting, I had to do the due diligence of looking at both parties and seeing if there was a thing that swayed me to actually vote for them. And then there was a principle that I had where like voting third party in a swing state could be important as well. And that would be more so like the quote unquote principle of the future of like actual change and levying change in the future. I know for me personally, I went with finishing quote unquote the job that I did the past 2 elections. So I did vote third party. But that was in me, to me, I felt that I would have like wasted my time in the previous elections if I had not at the most important time stood on the principle that I had already been pushing for previously, which was separating the black vote to be able to be leveraged inside its own independent way. And by doing that, quote unquote, voting, what's the word? Third party. But my thing is that there are actual real reasons depending on where you're at in life and what you want to have voted for either one. Like if you just like look at the economic plans, there is benefits depending on where you're at on both sides. And like it's easy to me, like it's a lot of it ends up being easy as that, or if you do have a principled stance. And this goes to
you sure we want to get this because we actually got the whole question, all of the questions are based in the same thing we talking about now. Do we want to go ahead and go into that?
Yeah. And I figured that we was kind of flowing.
Real quick, we got super chat. Reap what y'all sold for going to that Diddy party.
Yeah, super chatted that one got.
I think Trump and Barack has been to a Diddy party.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Was Kamala at a Diddy party?
I hadn't heard that.
I didn't see that.
My Sharon said, "How did third party help with swing vote? That vote just went nowhere, just sat there."
Help the swing vote? I don't even know what that means.
Well,
maybe she meant swing state.
Help the swing. All right,
she's just pretty much just saying how did the third party vote help? Which the thing is that
I
if
think
you
that
chose vote a third party,
your vote didn't go nowhere.
The thing is that if you voted,
I can respond
if you
after
vote,
you, so I'll respond after you.
If you voted, see, that's what I was saying. Remember, if y'all remember when we first kind of started going about it and going into it, I was saying I'll probably vote third party, and I had my reasons for it. And the thing is that I think that because the two-party system, they got us brainwashed into thinking that winning is an actual win.
Okay.
They got us to thinking that because you're the one that you voted for, you actually won something.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't win. You didn't win anything. Like that's what like the third party thing is like. I'm not interested in a win. I'm interested in change. The win, that's what to be the third party. If you voted third party, you already knew that they weren't going to win. You know what I mean? And you were
Well, to
okay.
me, I look at it as an investment into the future. More,
it's
more
not
than
about
anything.
the win.
Yeah, but I do think that there's a space where you can, like, if you voted for Trump for very specific reasons, you could have won.
Okay, now I agree with that. If you, but I think that the problem is that we.
Well, one could
feel
think
like
Trump won inside 2016, and that's led to like the Roe versus Wade being overturned. And if you were anti on a federal level abortion, him getting in was a win for you. Especially if you end up living inside like a state where it is anti, like they have like they don't allow abortions. Like you actually won for your principled stance.
Well, I mean, but see, the thing is that did you actually win? Because if it goes from federal to the states, that means that you're still going to have to convince your state to go with whatever way you.
That's what I said right after that. If you live in a state that is that's passed it to where there's no abortion at all statewide as well, you have won.
I guess that is a win for you. Well, I guess
like if that's your principle, like the abortion thing has been a big thing in the country.
Well, see, this is my thing. This is my thing though. Like, let's say you did win that, but if you were poor and you feel like that, your ass still poor, you still lost
a little bit. But some people care about very specific things.
You was gonna be poor no matter what, though. Like it wasn't like you was gonna vote.
Like it just depends on what your issues are, and that's what I'm saying.
I do agree. I agree. It depending on what your issues. Honestly, I don't really. I think that this shit is just too emotionally charged, and the whole idea of winning or you threw away your vote because you voted third party. No, that's not a thrown away vote.
Well, anyway,
my intention or what I'm looking for is not the same as what you're looking for. It's not a thrown away vote because I'm not searching for the person, the person's name to be called out and them. You know what I mean? I'm not interested. I don't like that candidate. I don't like that candidate. I'm looking for change in a different way than I see these people throwing their rhetoric.
And I think it's very counterproductive if we like trying to convince people, like trying to market votes to people instead of everybody just like going and figuring out for themselves, you know, what they gonna vote for. But like, and like to me, I think like people always talk about our ancestors died for us to vote, be able to vote. No, they died for the right for us to vote. And they died for me the right to choose whoever I want to vote for, whether it's red, blue, green, purple.
Me to be able to choose not to vote.
Or they died for the right for me to say I opt out. And like people need to stop making a big deal about it because like I said, everybody has a reason, and not showing up to the vote has consequences because we can look at the numbers of how many people didn't turn out and how many people weren't engaged in this election cycle, and that's an indictment on the Democratic Party.
Yeah, if I can bring up a stat here,
that's something they.
But is that an indictment on the Democrats or just like in general the political?
It depends on the political process. But see, the thing is too, you could also.
But it affected Democrats.
You could also see
felt it more.
How many
a lot
people?
Of their supporters.
How many people have you heard here recently say that I was a registered Democrat and I just went to non-affiliated within like the last 2 years? We didn't heard that more in the last 2 years than
a lot of Republicans did that after Trump too. Though.
The thing is, I don't know enough Republicans. I know more black people, and most of the black people I know were registered Democrat. I know more that have changed to unaffiliated in the last 2 years than I've ever heard of in my entire life.
And I think that could be true, but also some like there's parts where like I do think we live inside our black middle class bubble a little bit, or at least and because of. I would have been like, I thought that for sure there was going to be a bigger jump of black men not voting for
voting for Trump.
Yes, voting for
Trump.
I thought
so too.
And then to me, there's a bit of an indictment of like my echo chamber of like people in the conversations that I'm only listening to because we just voted literally on par. And so I think that there's been a lot of there's been some. It just I don't know. There'd be a lot of like us, but I
think a lot of people like us.
I've heard this be somewhat common, and like I think the thought of questioning it has been common, and it might be just that a lot of niggas couldn't decide. I mean, couldn't make the decision to actually vote for Trump.
And
I also think that
it was.
But do you think the like what we're seeing from the community? Do you think that prevented people who may have really wanted to vote for Trump because they believed in his policies?
Yes.
How many of those people you think didn't vote for Trump because they were scared of how?
I absolutely believe that. I believe that it wasn't so much of being scared.
But the thing
of
is,
the
like,
community.
you don't
what it
have to
was is
post who you voted
yeah, but
for.
it was,
Just lie.
it was an internal thing. I think that a lot of, and I can't lie, I can't.
No, a lot
like,
of people just can't live with themselves.
Exactly.
Like I think a lot of.
I think that was a big part of it. Like the fact that you've been doing this thing your entire life, and to say that, okay, no, but I agree with the opposite side now, and see how the demonization of the opposite side has been, and the expectation that it would be exactly what it was. You know what I mean? It kind of makes it so that you like psychologically, like you like, damn, this is what I want to do, but I just don't have enough confidence or like I think it just felt wrong for a lot of people. I know that like it just felt like you were, you know what I mean? You've been listening to this rhetoric for so long that to cast that vote just would feel so wrong that you just would opt out of casting it.
The ancestors turning over in the grave.
I guess to me, it just feel. I could imagine the feeling of being there and wanting to vote for Trump, but then it just being like.
But to me, that goes back to like why are you voting though?
Yeah.
To me, if Trump didn't have like specific things that I was against, I would like if there was a policy enough. I started at completely even kill, and that's why I literally researched as much as possible. And I think it was like one unpack. I was like, shit, right now, and if it ended, this is probably where I'm going to lean at. But there was a specific things that like I said, AI is a big thing for me. AI and automation. Looking on his website and seeing that that's a bullet point that he's pushing to like lessen regulation and push for this. It's like there's a couple
Damn,
things.
how can you lessen regulation at this point?
Well, that's part of his whole business thing. But yeah, like I can go to his website and give you the exact quotation. But like I had to do my due diligence where I sat and I went to read all of his actual things because it just be so easy. And this is something that both parties do. And this is like irritating thing. Most people be like, that person doesn't have policies. So I've heard them say Kamala doesn't have policies and Trump doesn't have policies. They both have posted policies. You could just sit, look, and read them. And if you want to go even more in depth, they usually have like little PDFs that you can click, and it goes even further into exactly what they're trying to accomplish. I think we at times just be a lazy ass electorate to where we don't specifically do the full due diligence of research to just make the decision.
They don't even try to listen to NPR, nothing like. You can just literally listen to 30-second clips on Instagram and on TikTok and decide your vote based on that, bro. That is crazy. And then try to talk shit to somebody else. Yeah. You ain't even done.
But I will also
talk about research. I did some research. And you got loose researchers thrown around now. Niggas swore they researched some shit.
I will say this also though. And hold on, let me see. All right, so I guess this would be the framing of how I put it. Something that, in my opinion, does kind of end up being a little disheartening. And then it leads me to like where's the consistency, or is there ever going to be a change? Is that I've heard and I've seen, like, I'll put it like this: nobody that I know that talked about voting for Trump actually voted for Trump. And it's such a weird thing. Like even down to like some of the people that it was like really, really holding a banner. You ask them, and you're like, I voted for like this.
Cornell West or something.
Yeah,
third party. They kind of.
And I don't believe everybody. And I just think people just didn't want to go on the internet and say they voted for Trump.
And if that's what it is, then cool. My thing is just that it'd be hard to like actually push towards like principle change if shame tactics still work for you. Like if you actually believe what you're saying, just stand on it. And like at some point, if we're actually going to make some change, you got to stand on whatever the version of your truth is. Yeah.
I think people do have a fear of, hey, there's a thing you might not do, but I don't even want to speak. I wanted to speak to a certain sentiment real quick. I do think not voting or voting third party does speak something. Like and just seeing it, like, just
I don't run with the not voting part though.
I still think it speaks something though. If people are not voting, they're saying they're not choosing this system, they don't agree with it, and that's
it only changes. It only makes sense if you were already voting. If you because the thing is not voting and some people don't vote.
Oh yeah,
so
just don't vote at all.
You can think of it as like I was just thrown into the block of people that just don't vote. But if you actually vote, you normally vote, and then you set out. And there's a difference in doing that and what the other people are doing.
Good point. That
so go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
That speaks to what I was saying though, exactly. But even if we looking at the numbers right here, there was 15 million votes unaccounted for between 2020 and 2024. Like as far as the Democratic Party goes, they lost 15 million votes some type of way. So how does that happen? Like that speaks volumes.
Dominion.
A little bit.
What was the name of the machine?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't specifically have like an answer to that. I think that there's a couple different versions of ways you can go down like the rabbit hole of if it was and I guess like the thing is that you could probably just like if somebody wanted to do the due diligence to look this up and figure it out, you kind of can because you would understand who's not voting and who has been voting. And as you said, like it's as simple as last election you voted, this one you didn't. Like you can kind of see who didn't vote this election. Matter of fact, that whole thing was going around. So like if we actually want the answer to this, because I'm not saying what is or what isn't, but there is an answer that's easy to find because of the way census and voting records work.
Right.
I don't know if it's just like big apathy. I know Trump win? Like he had a bigger, he had more voters this time, correct?
Yeah. They said he had the highest of
all time.
Yeah, he got the highest all time popular vote right
now. I
do
think that he did swing some voters, and you've heard, especially when you talk about white women and white men, he swung some voters. I don't think that it makes up 15 million though. I do think that voter apathy was a thing. It sounds like 1, 2. I know 3 people that said that they didn't vote, and it's not like a close enough circle. So to me, voting apathy seems to be a real thing. But I don't know. Maybe they were stuffing the ballots. I don't know.
Hey, the crazy thing too.
No, I'm saying I don't know. Like I imagine that's the other part that's being begged, right?
This is another thing too, bro. I need all the conspiracy theorists to speak up and say I was wrong, because them niggas was suing. Hey, they had lawsuits already on the Trump side before the shit even started. Them niggas been suing, saying the election fraud, goddamn, since the first nigga hit the button. They had the lawsuits already. Now they ain't worried about it no more.
My Sharon said this election is going to be a recount.
No, it's not.
I don't think it is. He went to many states. That was a sweep.
But it was a landslide.
So are we moving the conversation forward?
Yeah, I think I'm cool with it.
Oh yeah, I definitely wanted to speak on and I don't know where the meme is at, but the thing that happened that was interesting in this election is the people who on the Democratic side you would have thought they was just going to vote, or not the people you would have assumed was just going to vote Democrat, went the opposite direction. Like some of the immigrants and let's see,
the Latina community.
But do they typically vote blue?
I think the Hispanic community is typically more conservative.
Right. But
even
I think the whole Joe Biden.
But I'm talking
black
about
people
them voting against immigration. As far as like actually voting against, you would have thought they was going to vote.
But those
Democrat
were legal. I think the legal
they don't fuck with
the illegal ones.
So which is an interesting sentiment. And then on top of that, black women predominantly voted for Kamala.
That shit was
but
like
the other groups of women, I don't remember the statistics specifically, but
you
from
got
what I remember,
what you call it?
Oh yeah, let's see. Black women voted overwhelmingly for her. But other than that, the other women,
92%.
Yeah, the other women's votes went to outside Latino women voted 61% for her apparently. So outside of that, though, the women also wasn't on the side. Like women weren't so unanimous about the same rights that black women. Well, I think Asian women. I don't see the chart. I seen the chart with Asian women also. There was more breakdown.
They don't usually have a large voter base anyway. Asians. From my understanding, I don't think they have a lot.
Is that the majority of the women in these others didn't agree with the same sentiment. So I think there's a lot of dynamics there that we need to explore. Like there is some dissent within the community of women. Like apparently all women ain't in agreement with what's going on within the medical system and everything, which we know that. Like we know that minority women, Black women especially, are disproportionately affected within the medical system as far as like reproductive services and a lot of different things, as far as how they're treated in the hospitals and everything.
I would say that this probably was like indicative, whether it's like white women or you just say women in general, is that they're not a one issue voter specifically. And to me, like that's more so what it is. Like, I don't know what their specific issue, or like we'll have to probably almost go down by demographic, where the abortion thing isn't their top priority though. Specifically like white women. Like it could be like who knows what, like I said, I don't know specifically what it is. But to me, that's what this election shown partially, is that abortion isn't the boogeyman that it maybe even used to be. When it comes down to specific groups making their decision.
And something that I think is interesting too is looking at the next election, because even something that was a weird, that I thought was weird, was that Trump won the vote by a landslide, and still Mark Robinson lost.
Oh well, yeah, because
a lot of people
have their principle
vote down. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people vote down the ballot one way or the other,
unless there's a real reason not to. Mark Robinson gave,
but this is, I mean,
like all the like fairly informed guys.
I guarantee you, he was banking on the fact that if Trump won, I won. I guarantee you, he had that in his head.
Real quick, somebody educate me real quick, because I just want to address this before. My Sharon said it's not just abortion. Part is a man controlling a woman's body. My Sharon, what is happening with abortion that's changing? I don't think anything's changing with abortion.
Part of a man is
I don't even think Trump is going to be.
All right, so we're not addressing the comment as much as like the sentiment is about.
Like, I really want to understand what's happening with, like, what is Trump going to do that's going to, like, that everybody's.
Well, I think Trump said that he's not going to do anything. It's just going. In essence, it's going to stay as is. Some people feared that he was going to pass a federal law to outlaw it on the state level.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to figure out where
but he said that, but
he said, from, because he said this constantly, multiple times, over and over and over. Like, I done heard him say it so many times.
A lot of people just don't listen to him. Like I realized that, like, most of the people that I seen that would allow us against him just never listen to him.
My Sharon, it's not even that I have to believe what Trump is saying. The fact that he said it is people are gonna hold him accountable, especially Black people. That's why I'm not scared of this time period. We gonna hold him accountable like we did last time, more than any other time. We don't pay no attention when the Democrats in office, but Trump we gonna pay attention to. So if he do try to pull some stuff, Black people ain't sitting back being quiet. It's not gonna happen. Whether I believe him or not, we're gonna hold him accountable to what he say. That's the whole point. I
we
really
can't hold them accountable, but we'll talk about
it
loudly.
We have a voice. We got a voice.
We can talk about it loudly,
and that's what I'm saying. We seen what happened when our voice
get elected
really
again. He can't get elected again. You know what I mean?
He said he don't need to. He gonna do his work. This for
I swear, old head. He was sold on this nigga. Just said he was gonna be. He was never leaving office. I was like, that ain't what he just said though.
Better put his work in the next one. He say, I'm done.
But yeah, what we doing? We going
okay.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, hit the comments first. Hit some comments before we.
Let's put a small cap on like time of comments though.
Okay.
Let's do maybe like 4 or 5 minutes, maybe.
90% of FBAs voted for Kamala, and she lost by a landslide. They vote Republican because they was used to being on a dictatorship, especially the ones from Cuba. Talking about as far as immigrants.
Okay.
This election proved that the FBA vote has been diluted by the Hispanic vote. Neither party needs the FBA vote to win elections moving forward. I do think that was a thing that was like kind of obvious. I don't know if we really swayed this election too much.
Bro, white women is who swayed the election. I think it was like a 15-point difference.
They were saying we're not needed though.
Yeah, like basically.
But I mean, the thing if white women sway so drastically, then of course,
yeah, like it's all in percentages. Like if they voted closer to what they like typically have, the margins could make a difference whether it was Black or Latino. If you swing a minority inside a huge like difference, it could make a difference. But if like a majority swings in a huge like they did, I think white women like Barack and maybe one of the last two won the woman vote. Like it's like a 15 point or a 10 point differential. But if you're 39% of the electorate, 15% is huge
number,
in comparison. If you are, what was it like? If we're talking about the percentage breakdown of 100, I think black people were 10%. If you had men and women, men with 4%, women with 6%. Like voting at 90% or 80% is good. And if we're at the margins, it matters.
If it's a close race,
but if the majority at 39% swings, bro,
game.
It don't matter if it's Latino or black. And I think percentage wise, we're close in general, right? There's a Tone, go back to that breakdown real quick. It shows the percentages on there. They're 6% and 6%. Is that what they said?
Which one? Let's see.
Hispanic women make up how much of the
it doesn't show it on.
It's right there. It's on top.
Oh, 6%. Yeah.
Okay, 6%, and men is 6% also. Okay.
Then all other voters were 6%. That's kind of weird.
Okay.
I want to see that because
it's crazy how much. Never mind. That's why.
But then they say that also that what was it? He said 15 million versus Biden to Kamala.
15 million what?
Voters, black voters.
Let's go back to that chart.
Oh, talking about like how many like the drop off.
Yeah, how many voted for during Biden versus how many voted during this recent one. So
the volume was down
by 15 million votes based on that.
If you look at this is how many votes.
Okay, that's not specifically.
Well, I mean, that's
black
in general.
People.
Yeah, my
but
bad.
like
That's in general.
Yeah, that's different. Like from my understanding, it didn't seem like voter apathy was crazy though for black people. I think that we make up. I only could find the information for North Carolina, where population wise we make up 20% of the population, and I think 50% of our voter base, if we're accounting for 10%, that means 50% of our voter base voted. Which in general, America doesn't have like huge voter turnout across the board. I think it margins around like 60%, whether it's white, black, whoever. Like in general, we just have a huge amount of people that just don't vote inside like our natural general electorate.
Man, I think
it was weird to see like that. Like even people, if 3 out of the however many people that you talked to and were able, and y'all had that specific conversation, if 3 of those individuals opted out, and if all 3 of them previously voted in each election,
I can't say I know about the other person if they voted in a previous election.
Okay, yeah. See that's I really want to find a number because I think that's a very important piece of the conversation that we're having.
It's obviously a lot of people like just looking at the numbers that
even like even if you did what 14%, even if you did 7%, 14% of that number, or 7% of that number,
millions of black people,
millions of people, black people still did, or people in general. That's why I want to get the numbers, bro. I really was trying to find it.
That was like if you had 81 in 2020 and 64, 10% of that would be 1.5.
Somebody said, where did they come from and where did they go? Talk about the 15 million votes.
I know. I get. My thing is like somebody just should do the due diligence.
From Clinton to Biden, what they say, 16 to 2020. That's
damn it! That was a 10 million jump right there.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2020 is the one that looks crazy.
Shoot, he got more than Obama and Clinton, bro. Biden was
a little bit, but to me, Kerry to Obama is a big jump. That's a 10 million jump.
Oh, yeah, that is a 10 million jump.
And the Biden thing, that's another thing that's so crazy about those numbers. That was in the middle of fucking COVID. Motherfuckers was masked up, scared to come out the house. Like,
well, I think voting became so much easier. I think that maybe that's possibly the
well, you had the cards that people were sent to mail-in ballots.
So is that maybe the reason why it was?
Because they had mail-in ballots.
Well, I think that also within that too, people had more of a motivation to you know what I mean. Motivation.
The world seemed like it was ending.
Yeah,
it was like niggas thought they was voting
people
for.
Were scared.
Yeah, shit. But people did it. Oh, never mind. There was another. Never mind. We'll have this on another conversation. So, never mind. I'm gonna just let it rock.
Yeah, don't call me out in front of them people, man.
Nah. You got it, Tom.
Abortion is a states' right issue now. That's all.
Yes.
TBI, the nonpartisans control the parties. I'm not asking nobody to be scared of him. I'm just saying be realistic. Mark Robinson lost because he was a black person that white people didn't like, even though he said the things that white people wanted to hear.
Black
White people
folks
ain't want to
didn't
hear
like
that.
him either.
Oh yeah, and white
Nobody
people ain't
liked, bruh.
necessarily want to hear that. White people ain't all racist. I don't necessarily think
Yeah, the
that.
thing
They
is
want to
that-
hear it either.
Yeah, the thing is, he just went too far.
He went
overboard.
way
But-
too far.
But the reality also, well, he was already losing in the polling to Josh Stein. But when he was anti-trans and then got caught up on the trans John,
I was going to say that.
it
too.
was, and then say what you want. I know the right don't like that that topic.
Yeah.
Like no matter like whether you say they're all
And then
anything,
my thing is
homophobic or racist or anything, I know that they are not for the big T.
My thing is that,
Or is that the little T?
hey, let
Low
them
T.
figure that out.
Low T?
Let them figure. My thing
Hidden
too
T.
is that, like, bro, who and see, you in a different, you a different kind mug to be commenting on the joints.
Yeah, if you commenting on
Like,
porn,
who does this, bro?
Nah,
You a
Mark
different
Robinson
type
is a wild
person,
boy.
bro. You a different type person to be in the comments on the porn site, bro.
Yeah, no, that's wild. First of all, that means you made a profile.
And that's his own thing.
That means you made a profile.
Yeah, this man, he paying for the subscription.
You logged
Listen, I
You
ain't
gotta
gonna
be paying for if you create a profile, you paying for the subscription.
Pornhub
Nah,
Premium.
Bro, tripping all the way.
TBI, this nation is a republic, not a democracy. Working class whites and Hispanics are the biggest voting blocs in the country.
They said what?
Working class whites and Hispanics are the biggest voting blocs in the country.
If they're the biggest, is by like 2%.
The biggest.
Well, is he talking about collectively or individually?
I don't know. We just seen the numbers for the election. Like black people are 10%, they're 12%.
Trump won his election because he said the things that white people want to hear, and he did it professionally. Also, he's a white man singing, and Mark Roberts was a black man singing.
Man, also he had 12 years to put the whole play together.
Yeah. If the black vote doesn't matter, why is it the focus for each election?
Right.
Why not focus?
I
on
guess
the
do y'all
Latinos?
think that? I think that question, right? I mean,
Which
what
one?
Unc said probably goes into your question. If you want to
read Unc's one more time.
Trump won his election because he said the things that white people want to hear, and he did it professionally. Also, he's a white man singing, and Mark Roberts was a black man singing.
speaking to why Trump won the election, to me, I think that's like a good alley-oop to jump into. Did Trump win it? Did Kamala lose it? I'm not taking your shine. Or if y'all wanted rock, paper, scissors, I don't know.
We're gonna run right into it. It's cool.
I think it's good to go.
So my question for the week was,
gonna lose anyway.
I just want you to
just do it real quick, but go ahead and go into the conversation.
Back
Get it
to
out your
back.
pistol, bro.
Come
All
on,
right, go ahead. Y'all can do.
Get your ass.
Shut your ass up. Either way, like I was saying,
Good job,
I don't need you to good job me. I know I did a good job. I don't need your validation.
Tell him he going last, bro.
As a matter of fact, no. So my question for the week is, do you feel that Republicans won this election? And I say this specific. I say Republicans and not Trump's for a reason. Oh no. As a matter of fact, let's just do that. Do you think that Republicans or Trump won the election, or did the Dems or Kamala lose the election? And I said I just wanted to because she did lose. I had some questions, some additional questions. It was like, okay, do you think that the average person trying to see, like, going through the policies that she had, and why I kind of think, do you think the average person had a child last year? Do you think the average person owns a business? Do you think the average person intend on buying a house in the next 4 years, or in position? You know what I mean? Or is the economy in a place where people even looking at buying homes right now? Do you think that and then again with the presentation that she provided of black, which I think that a bit more black women should have been kind of ashamed of the way that she kind of pandered to them. I believe that they should have kind of felt a bit of a way, and I haven't seen them feel a way at all on that.
They were more mad.
We are actually seem to be more loud about being mad about seeing the ass shaking than I've heard any black. Well, I don't think I've heard that critique of the campaign.
Can I play this clip from this black woman real quick?
Yes, sir.
I think this is.
Y'all want to know why she lost? I'm gonna tell you why she lost. The Democratic Party literally had the worst marketing strategy in history. Like, I saw this loss coming like a mile away. He's racist. He's racist. He's racist. Your candidate is a woman. This country's far more sexist than racist. Far more. So there's that group of people that are just automatically going to vote the other way. Then you lost the plot completely with black people. I haven't seen pandering this tacky since Hillary Clinton pulled that hot sauce out of her bag. Man. You had Joe Biden on his first campaign talking about if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Who the fuck? Kamala done turned her freaking rallies into the BET Awards. You got Meg Thee Stallion twerking on stage, Glorilla on stage bleeping out every other word of her song because she can't even rap her actual lyrics. Then completely lost the plot with women. You got penises swinging around kids' locker rooms and women's locker rooms. People who identified as a man yesterday and identify as a woman today are whooping women's asses in sports. Women having to encounter penises and testosterone in situations that were once sacred to them. Add that to the fact that y'all originally showed up with the same candidate who we watched falling all over himself in the street, slurring his words and losing his train of thought mid-fucking press conference. And y'all still picked him, although y'all had Kamala as vice president at the time, which means even y'all knew she wasn't going to win this. But y'all threw her in the game fourth quarter anyway. Then you got the everyday Democrat thinking they could bully people into voting their way, which is actually turning people off and running people out of the party. Mind you, election happened while everybody's hungry and broke. Rent was just due. Mortgages was just due. It's after the first, and we've been under this leadership for 4 years, so it feels like it's because of them. Then the Republicans keep stopping us. We can't get anything done because Republicans keep stopping us. So what's the point of voting for you if you can't get nothing done? Y'all gave Donald Trump a freaking Supreme Court seat when y'all let Ruth Bader Ginsburg die at damn near 100 years old in the freaking Supreme Court. It's very, very clear the Democratic Party has just been raw dogging it through life for a minute. Mind you, I voted Democrat for 16 years straight. It's Barack Obama's first presidency. But I knew how this was going to go. And she didn't just lose, she got her ass whooped. I'm talking about when I went and looked at the state.
Yeah, I would stop there. She got some good points or not?
No, I agree with her. And I think like the graphic we had up there earlier about the big fall off. It either speaks to something happening in the last election or the voter apathy that then came very quickly over the last 4 years. I definitely think and just me as a black man, I was turned off by a lot of the lack thereof being addressed directly. Even like she said, with like the whole fourth quarter switching it up. That's something that I thought was gonna give her a uphill battle. So I definitely think the Democrats played their hand. I mean, they won in 2020 and they lost this time. So I think it's definitely them playing their cards badly. That's what got them there. Because Trump kind of was an underdog coming back after getting kicked out and then having to come back.
Look, Trump, he most of the people that supported him in he ain't lost supporters.
Yeah,
he ain't lost supporters. Like no matter if you want to call it, the closest thing to a Teflon Don, that is him. This nigga is a felon. Ain't nobody cared, bro.
But I don't think that's why he won, though.
So I'm asking. So do you think that he win or
Kamala lost?
Kamala lost.
You see the numbers. She lost 16 million votes. Well, the Democratic Party had 16 million less voters. It's because of the things and the policies that they did, and that's why they lost. Those missing voters tell you that they hadn't been doing their job and they haven't been addressing these people. I think that Trump's numbers were up, but I don't think they were up 16 million. I'd have to go back and see the exact number, but I think the Democrats lost more support than Trump gained over the last 4 years.
Okay, and so are we saying why we think that Trump won and then why we think that Kamala lost? Are we saying
no? Who do you
which one is swayed the election more?
Which one swayed the election more? It's really what it is. It's like what was the, you know what I mean? On what side was it an actual win? Like did Trump just do his campaign was just so great and he was just such a great candidate that he won? Or was it that, you know what I mean, the shortcomings of the Democrats or like how people felt about Kamala? That's how you say it. I said it right? Kamala. My bad. Kamala. Was it that?
It don't matter no more.
Yeah, but still, the thing about it, I ain't intentionally trying to fuck a name up. I just keep saying it wrong. You know, I ain't at this point, like, yeah, man, I'm not trying to do it. It's no reason to be an asshole. But so where do you land?
So for me, it almost ends up being in the margins just because I think they won and one lost for the same reason. And I think both of them did Trump did really great at the thing, and I think Kamala just did horrible at it. So it's kind of hard for me to say which one. So I can almost toss it into the air. Since my question leans to the right, I'll probably go with. No, actually, I'll go. I'll say Kamala lost. Well, I'll do that. My question addresses more so why the right one, so that can make it easier to lean. Leave that there. I would say that for a couple reasons. You said Democrats and the left. Reason one that I think that Kamala and the left has lost is they haven't did a good job of separating themselves from progressives. And I think that right now the entire left is identified as like this LGBTQ
woke,
trans woke XYZ. Just like you just run down that entire line. Where I spoke about this prior to the election, but there was already an infighting of like identity and like sexuality and like wanting for like social programs to help uplift people, and they're different. Like there's a part of the left that is identity based, and then there's a part that's about like a social, like whether you want like just say like a social safety net, like wellness and helping people in general. And until that kind of separates, it makes it really easy for the right to like demonize and run their rhetoric. And so I think that that in itself is like one big thing, is that I think with this next election cycle, the left would do really good to be able to center itself a little more, because of the right doesn't even have to do a really good job because of the left is so far left. And you don't really hear too many moderate takes from a lot of left-leaning people. The second thing would be marketing. I think, Johnny, you said that you didn't feel like black men were heard or addressed.
Trump
didn't in my personal opinion, I think that they spent too much time speaking to specifically black and black men and women. Like most of her like interviews was at talking to black men specifically. Like she had the Shay, she had the All the Smoke, she got the Charlemagne, huh?
Wasn't that all of them?
I know she did like the Call Her Daddy podcast, and she did like the Fox News thing. She went on The View, but like a good.
But The View is gonna be the same thing, right?
Well, View is like mixed. It's like some white women, a black woman, and a Hispanic woman.
TBI said they should have got Shakira and Ricky Martin instead of Glorilla. Meg Thee Stallion seems like the black vote matters.
Well,
that was an earlier comment, but
I get the joke. But in general, damn, what was that? The ident was that I can let's just speak. Their outreach in general. And I think that they did a bad job. Like one, they overly addressed just black people. So if you go to what he's saying, even the people that they were bringing up, we're gonna bring up Glorilla and Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and Beyonce. Like you're going specifically to a base that you're going to win already.
It's like the minority within the minority.
But you're going to win it anyway. If you're going to win white, you're going to win black women.
Well,
you don't got to keep bringing
black
in.
Women are the majority of the black community, so it wouldn't be.
You say what?
Within the minority.
Well,
black women are the majority. Yeah, I'm correcting myself. Yeah.
But yeah, in general, like you were overly addressing the group of people that you were already in an election show that you were already going to win. What you didn't do was the outreach of addressing a lot of the people in which is middle America. You look at the map, you look at like what's all red. A good majority of America is red. Inside the major cities, it ends up being these pops of blue, but the country is red as hell. And it says something that these people, especially middle and rural America, don't feel heard. And she didn't do anything to actually reach out to them. And that ends up being like a big misstep. Like people were saying, like, why should she go on Joe Rogan? They could talk to 40 million a week of rural Americans. But here's the other interesting caveat to it. Joe Rogan is the podcast that has the biggest listenership of black people, black men at that.
I didn't know that. I know he had the biggest listenership. Period.
Yeah, but like when you talk about like weekly listeners, like because in volume he's the biggest by such a large margin.
Well,
that margin ends up being
the biggest.
He has the biggest platform
black
that black men listen to as well, and like that was almost a one size fits all easy sweep right there, where you needed to address middle America anyway.
Especially if she would have did it after him, because it was like right at the end,
yes,
of
like,
where it would have really made
push.
an impact to like sway the people that were still on the fence.
Yeah, and even if you let's just say you didn't do that, like you lost the youth vote for a reason also.
Going on Club Shay Shay didn't affect anything, so that was just a fucking waste of time.
But the lack of proper campaigning or marketing or outreach to middle American, quote unquote, white men, Hispanic white men, middle American white women, Hispanic white women, ended up being a big swing in this election. And like the pandering just specifically to black people, I think it hurt. I think I think the marketing was bad. And I think that moving away from identity politics, bad, and fear mongering gotta end. Like as simple as that. Like it don't work. It hasn't worked in the past 3 elections. Really, it was only because of COVID and the way Trump maneuvered COVID that they was able to win the Biden election. But the reality is that if it wasn't for that, Trump was going to win that next election anyway. And the fear mongering hasn't worked. And this goes a little bit, and I'll land right here to where my question is that you're finding out, especially men and young men don't respond to fear. They want to feel some version of empowerment, and they want to speak or go or vote for somewhere where they feel that they can actually have some version of change, not just to be scared. And I think that that's been a big thing.
One thing I did want to speak to that this girl said was I think the Democrats definitely messed up with Biden being there in the first place. Like there was no primary at that to choose an alternate candidate, but having him in the way in the first place, and we all knew that his mental capabilities was already low, but they kept lying about that the whole time and kept saying, yeah, he's fine to run the election. And then at the last minute you change and then give this woman 100 days to try to win an election. Like this is really a non-biased view, because I'm not hating on her for this. If I had to deal with her circumstances,
and that's the beautiful thing about it. But go ahead. I mean,
but like if I
all
was,
of these are like it's not like an attack against her and like, you know what I mean? It's just bad fucking.
And that's I just want to clarify for the audience. But just
I do have an attack against her. I think that she spent like 30 days quiet.
Yeah, but she
didn't do enough interviews.
She didn't. But
and that's her or her campaign.
Even starting off though, just giving her the benefit of the doubt, they gave her 100 days to run a whole campaign. That is like we've never seen that in the history of ever. Like
especially for where she was,
where she was
when she ran. Like you were already nobody gave a fuck. You know what I mean? And
a little bit,
but you try to build yourself up from where you were,
and then especially this supposed to be,
and then you the vice president already, and niggas are dissatisfied.
I think it's got pleased a little bit because
let me finish.
Go ahead.
If Trump's the boogeyman and like he's the big bad wolf that he's supposed to be, like why would you have a campaign so sloppy and like and just not executed properly if Trump is supposed to be that big? Like we knew who he was 2-3 years ago.
Whoever was running her campaign,
I don't think the campaign was sloppy.
Some shit.
Whoever was running it, they did terrible at marketing.
They need
and
to go back and get.
This is coming from. I'm a graphic designer. You a graphic designer, bro? They did terrible at the marketing. Like this was terrible marketing. Like, she didn't run no perfect campaign.
What's my girl from
ain't even hating right now.
Olivia Pope is who they needed.
They needed somebody else.
They needed Olivia Pope.
Whoever was in charge of her campaign.
I don't think they needed an Olivia Pope. Like Trump obviously got a Olivia Pope. Hold on.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
Because like he was able to beat the January 6th shit. I forgot where I was about to land at that.
Perfect campaign. She don't need Olivia Pope.
No, that threw me to that. But yeah, I think she said that she ran a perfect campaign. Oh, I think I was about to critique her campaign in a sense that y'all I think y'all copy please a little bit.
Please meaning what?
I got you. So I understand like the whole 100-day thing, right?
I want to give her the benefit of the doubt.
But
I got some critiques. My fault.
Yeah, let me land or you run for a little bit. So I understand the 100-day thing, right? But the other part to the 100-day thing is that she came, like, it could have possibly been the best thing possible for her, where she already wasn't necessarily like the most popular prior, but when it switched and the way it switched because of how Biden and the whole thing, there was a full revitalization into the whole entire election for them. And you've seen it even inside the polling. And then she got a huge win.
You're right.
With the debate.
Yeah,
it was huge.
Yeah, she
and
killed him.
that
She
pushed
killed him in that.
as well. What immediately happened though, they went quiet.
They thought they had it won right there.
They went quiet and they over controlled the campaign. So they went quiet for like almost like 30 days or some shit like that. And that paired with also not having like some version of policies up. Like even if you just started off with like a few things, to me it seemed like they overly tried to focus group the campaign to where like she was always too prepared for interviews.
Robot, yeah, talking about the robot part.
Like you didn't connect enough to people in general, and that's just my opinion. And that's what I heard from everybody that had real critiques, is that it always seemed overly controlled, and then it was too much fear mongering instead of like saying Trump is a threat to democracy. Just talk about like y'all. They wanted to run this whole joy thing, but they forgot to actually lean into it, and that was weird to me.
And I think too is like the thing about it is and now we don't have to worry about it after this, but like running against Trump is different. You're gonna have to like very much so humanize yourself. You're gonna have to, because of the way that he speaks to the audience that he's trying to speak to. So like you switching accents and shit, that's not gonna get you good PR, bro.
Even though I think that was one of those like right leaning blown out of proportion.
Well, I mean, but
things.
even still, like if you sound different, I mean, I've heard like clips where I don't know if you're intentionally like it's a joke that you're trying to make, but then you're not, like, your jokes don't land. This is like, you know what I mean? It wasn't really good. It just wasn't really good.
I think that was part of the issue. Where you say she spent a lot of time focusing too much on like the black people. I think that's where she lost us. The pandering was like a lot of people just got tired of it. Like it was a lot of people that saw the Meg, even though it was supposed to be for us. It was supposed to like help, but a lot of people saw Meg Thee Stallion and was done. It was like,
and if you look at those white women right there, like in the crowd with Megan was
like with her facing her ass,
like they're completely like.
I just realized something here too. Trump made a really good point. He said, with Hispanics being Catholic, they also have a strong belief in their God, and no matter what you say, people are going to go with their God against people with LGBTQ and a person are saying.
Oh no, that's true.
One thing she messed up with was she was out there at that rally, and that person said Jesus is Lord, and she told them he was at the wrong rally. She messed up that day, and then she came and pandered at church to try to make up for it like a week or so later, and had all the people in pink, and they escorted people out of their own church because they didn't agree with her being there. So there was some people who was trying to say something, they escorted them out of their own church. It didn't help.
I guess you had to show me where.
I can show you.
I seen that. I see the Jesus Lord. It was like,
it was at her rally.
Scream out person.
Yeah, I thought that was like a Trump supporter saying some shit.
No, that happened at his too, but then this was after. No. And somebody did it. It happened at his rally too, but they did it after what happened at her rally.
I'm speaking
and
about
then he responded to
the Kamala rally. Is it? Wait, are you?
No, we're just talking about Kamala, and she did. So I'm trying to figure out which part are you saying? Are you iffy or didn't have?
I thought that I remember her saying you're at the wrong rally. To my understanding, that was when a Trump supporter yelled out something at her rally.
Ma, come on now. She said they need to stop using God as a weapon, and he's the biggest devil. You need to go and read your Bible. I do. Please read it too. Read it. Tell me where it say that.
I want to like ignore the comments for a little bit.
I'm not trying to go
like engaging in the comments instead of like us continually having like just like the cipher of a conversation. But I would say to me that was the thing that I had seen. But maybe I didn't read the proper subtitles. But are y'all saying at her rally, the person said that, and it wasn't like a yell for like Trump support? Like that's what I had thought it was.
The only way I would say that I saw the video of the whole thing playing out. The dude said Jesus Lord, he said you at the wrong rally. Unless the only argument that I would take to say that was wrong was they proved that was like somebody put some footage together some kind of way. That would be the only way.
But
I
you
would
heard
say
him
that,
say Jesus is Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this was a whole big deal. Like her just like not acknowledging or disrespecting their belief. That right there was like not like that's a majority of people's belief in the United States.
Right.
Regardless whether you want to believe it or whether you
Oh no,
believe
Christ is
God.
King is supposed to be the quote unquote whatchamacallit thing.
Yeah, but just saying that this is
okay.
and I don't even believe stuff in the same way that everybody else do. But just saying that majority of people in America believe in Jesus on some level, like that was a very bad thing for her to do at that time period. That didn't play well for her. Like and the Hispanics, like he said, the Hispanics are really serious about.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
They like.
The population of Hispanics in my neighborhood is fucking crazy increase, and you know how many they got their churches there too.
Mm-hmm.
They got the corner store sell the little candles with they buy they put them in there for them. You know what I mean? Like they're definitely on the I don't know which denomination.
I didn't know that this was like a
no, it's definitely
no,
Mother
Mary.
Well, no, I'm saying like I didn't know that this was a swinging point of the election.
Oh no. I wasn't hanging my head. That was what Tone was saying. I didn't know that it had the impact that he was saying. Hey, he said something about the peak.
No, I think I do think that definitely affected her vote. The vote. Like if there were Hispanics that was on her, like I think that definitely took a good chunk of Hispanics that might have been on her side out of factor.
And at the end of the day, like even if
you
you
don't
go
think
there
none of
with
her like immigration policies did, because a lot of from the Hispanics I talked to, they're like,
I think it was a lot. I think it was a number of things. I'm not just saying it was one thing. I'm saying there was piece. Like you had different pieces and different things that happened along this campaign that affected people, like where people was like, if they was on the fence, at some point she offended them some type of way, and they was like, no, I'm done. I'm not voting for her.
Well, yeah, because she definitely offended me at one point.
So I got a question. Oh, I guess I got a question. So why do you think it was that why do you think that Black women were voted the way that they voted? Was it purely identity politics?
What are you talking about?
The 92%. Like, why do you think
they just voted the way they always vote? It's not like it swung anyway. I think that so there's a part of identity politics, but it's not like they voted for Hillary and Trump.
Clip?
Black women are usually like around 92. If maybe Obama was like 96 or something like that.
Yeah,
but
Obama
but it's usually
the Black vote was just
above
crazy.
90 inside the 90s. So it's not like it was. Yeah, anything crazy. I think Black men's usually a little bit lower than Black women, but yeah, to my understanding, they didn't vote any differently than they did. So it wasn't like they just said we're going to vote because she's Black, so we had a higher percentage. They just voted kind of how they just usually be voting. If that is because of identity politics, then it's the reason that they have voted in general along those lines.
All right, where we at?
I don't know. Is there any other? It seems like both of y'all was looking up.
I'm trying to find some stats.
All right. So are we done with this question?
Your question, or we going to his?
To me, I think that either one. We already did his, but it looks like we're wrapping up on his.
Yeah,
I'm cool with like transitioning into mine. Never mind. That's not a good joke to make right now. But
I know he was going though.
yeah. But no. All right. So my question kind of like is begged by the previous question, and it speaks about Trump. And matter of fact, let me actually read it. I want to make sure that I properly quote out the thing. Hey, Tone, do you mind reading like one or two comments while I kind of pull this up?
Sure. Hispanics are by nature very conservative. This was the first time they voted this way and showed it. Native Americans voted 65% for Trump. That was a surprise. I think that was RFK Jr. She should have talked to him as well, but declined to. RFK Jr. is actually talking about doing some dope stuff. So like, I do want to address that later. I actually like what he's been talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, she did decline to talk to him. I think that was bad too.
Because I think Joe Rogan said that he was going. I'm sorry. Donald Trump said that he talked to RFK about the
and he approached Kamala first.
Yeah, and then something else. I don't know if y'all watched this on the Breakfast Club. What was Harry O? Ain't Harry O the guy that was that started with Suge?
Death Row.
Death Row.
Oh,
He was the one that was putting the bread in the Death Row. He actually had a black plan similar to what Ice Cube did back in the day. But while he was locked up, he first submitted his clemency joint to Obama, no response. Then when Biden got in office, no response. Trump got in office, Trump ended up responding, like he said later on in the term, and he actually proposed like had a plan for Black America, pretty much just like or a platinum plan, whatever you want to call it. And he said Kamala never reached back out. Trump said that he was gonna fuck with him.
Did Trump actually fuck with him? Or
Well, I mean, he just got elected, so we
are you talking about like
yeah, this was like the day, I think the Breakfast Club ran that like either that Monday or that Wednesday after the election. I think it was the Wednesday. Charlamagne was probably doing what you call Kamala. Maybe he was doing Kamala a favor by running it after the election.
Got you. Yeah.
I forgot why I even had to.
I kind of did too. That's what. That's really,
My bad.
That's what I was like, all right. But yeah, nonetheless, my question is: young men are turning conservative. Why? Interesting stats have came out about the young male vote.
What does young mean?
Like,
18 to 30.
Yeah, we could just go with that.
18 to 30.
I can't remember. Usually it'd be like 18 to 25 or something like that. But even if we stretch it up to 18 to 30, shout out to Trey. He calls them the YNs. But I do think that it has been interesting, and I think that it is smart one on Trump, why and how he's won it, and I think it's an indictment on the left as well on why they're losing. Like there was a time period that in general, if you was in college, if you was younger, typically you were liberal. Like you did lean to the left. If like they're just kind of what it was for a while. And I think that over the past, I don't know, you can almost go like 8 to we'll just like put it at 8 right now. The past 2 election cycles, there has been like a slow shift, and I think that even more so over these past 4 years, there has been a cultural shift that you've seen with young men, in my opinion, that are starting to move closer to the right. And I think this was exploited and evident in how Trump did his campaigning, where he went on a bunch of really, really popular podcasts that targeted young men. Those ended up being like the quote unquote conservative-ish leaning, or not even conservative-ish leaning, but like
it's not conservative, right?
Yeah, that's
Joe Rogan's not conservative. They
He's
say that he's
not,
like
but-
liberal, or
he's not actually liberal.
He's himself,
Yeah,
a little more left.
I think that it's like what's his name? Pierce Morgan. He says it. I'm liberal. You're not actually liberal. Like you might be like moderate to what, like you might be what used to be like a moderate Democrat or moderate liberal way back when, but like as the progressives have pushed the left, like the thing has moved over so much. But like he used to identify as liberal, but like he went on a lot of these platforms that spoke to young men. And like you talk about the Joe Rogans, you talk about the Aiden Rosses, you talk about the I don't like he went on everywhere.
Didn't he go on Flagrant too?
Flagrant. He went on what's the dude with the mohawk?
Even his appearance on that the all women's joint he did.
Oh, you talking about the black women?
The black women joint.
Okay.
The journalist.
Well, I don't know if that
It wasn't
impacted
a
black.
podcast.
I don't know if that impacted young men, but
No, I think
like
that
his-
like even like her. So I'd say a lot of the black men like had a critique of that one woman's response to him. So it was like a way of like, it was a turn off. I don't know if it what the impact of it was, but I know that it was a turn off when I watched it.
Gotcha. But yeah, nonetheless, like I think that he did amazing marketing to the youth through these, in which he
Intentional.
spoke to a way of empowerment, and instead of like the quote unquote fear mongering thing. And I think that in general, a lot of these people, like you've heard the endorsements from the Andrew Tates, you've heard the endorsements from the Fresh and Fit, you've heard the endorsements from
Charleston
like
White.
the Charleston, like all these people who typically go into like some version of like quote unquote self-improvement, XYZ, whether you agree with it or
Jordan
anything like
Peterson.
that. Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson's a great one to use in that example.
And like he understood this interesting self-improvement niche that tends to gravitate, and it's a self-improvement niche, but then it's also like the like quote unquote the flagrant, the like the free speech niche that a lot of the youth, especially young males, gravitate towards. And I think he exploited it, and not exploited inside necessarily negative way, but like he used that niche and it helped him tremendously. And you see it inside like the voter turnout with young men. Like young men want to be given tools of empowerment or the belief that what they do can actually like change, and they have the power to do it. And I don't think that young men necessarily care to feel like they are helpless and inside a box and can't really do much. I was talking to today, young men are turning conservative. Why? This is so unlike young men.
I think that if we're going to talk about like young straight men, I think that would be a caveat to them leaning towards Trump. It would probably be a demographic of young straight men that would be the ones leaning in that fashion. And I'd say that and I think it also has something to do with the difference in the. Oh, so long. For the younger ones, I was about to make. I'm still make the statement, but I was debating on whether I would or not. The amount of fathers being around, I think that changes a bit of it. Getting that male representations, whereas the matriarch, the family dynamic was purely matriarchal. I think that will assist in that. But then I think that
You think that deals with like young white men voting?
Say it again.
More conservative.
Say it again.
You think that deals with young white men voting more conservative? I don't think that they had like
young people in general.
I wasn't speaking specifically to white men, but I think
but they would be like a bigger portion. And I guess, are you right now? You think that most 18-year-olds?
That's why I was about to say take it back, because it's our generation of kids they're not eligible to vote yet. So that wouldn't even make sense. So that's why I actually paused the first time. I was like, I'll say it anyway.
Okay.
But
I think like I'll let you finish.
Okay. I think also at masses we want to be the let's say like the idea of like the Andrew Tate. Like a lot of us, some of the guys want to be the talk through it all kind of guy, the Jordan Peterson kind of thing. But a lot of the men, I don't think that we want to be this soft version of the man that it seems that the Democrats are pushing for. We don't want to be that shit.
I think that's
so like all of that. I think
don't really identify with it. They usually identify with the big. We want to be the action figure.
Yes,
we want to be the superhero.
Yeah, no. That's why I said straight male, white or black, wanting to be any like the idea of the feminine man, that they're like, you know what I mean, the docile, feminine, the wait for the system. You know what I mean. We don't want to be that. Even if you look at like the a lot of the movements, it's like for self. We ain't really on that handout. We looking at the well, I won't. I'm talking about my generation, but I'll rest there. My bad.
Wait a minute.
No, I think.
Are you saying FBA is a docile liberal?
Hey, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
But you said do for self.
Yeah.
How you feel about reparate? My bad, Johnny.
Yeah. Hey, let my man alone.
That nigga trying to get David Walker to jump. He can hear that shit.
Shout out to TV. I'm fucking with
that. Should have his spidey senses tingling right now.
Shout out TV. I got to fuck with my guys for a little bit.
I feel somebody being off code right now.
Right. The motherfucker start.
TV, I don't report me to the panel. My bad, bro.
Hey, but,
it was a joke.
I do think like.
Or to the council, should I say?
The reason a lot of young people are shifting, like in bigger numbers, we've seen like even when we was in college, it was all the young people were, Democratic. But I think it's strong male leadership. I think there's
you said it right.
Strong. Yeah, I think there's a lack of that in the Democratic
generation.
Well, just in the Democratic Party. I mean, look at Trump and Biden, and like when you're 80 years old, which one would you rather be? Much rather
you like to be the one that's like popping. You popping strippers while
like
you
your
married,
wood still work.
and you could do whatever you want to.
You can ride a bike.
You could grab them
go upstairs.
I like to grab them by the.
but I definitely think that as a man,
and Trump also, I guess he does represent the pleasure principle to an extent.
Yeah, but even as a man, I think
that nigga, dude. My bad. I was co-signing. I just got excited about that point.
But even as a man, I look to other men for leadership, like my father, and Kamala. No matter how good she is, no matter how much, she could never be my dad. I'm never gonna look to her for certain All
right, so in saying that, you wouldn't vote for
a
properly qualified.
He was talking about the kids.
Let Johnny answer this.
No, I would vote for one. I'm not saying I voted for women in the past, but I'm saying as if I'm looking for leadership, I'm gonna gravitate towards a man first. I'm not saying a woman's incapable of leading me, but
but you would vote for a woman leader.
I voted for women before. I voted for a woman president before. It's not out the question, but I also know good leadership. I've had coaches that look.
So it was the problem with leadership, not being a woman.
Yes, strong leadership, but I think males gravitate towards male leadership the same way women gravitate towards. Look at Black women. How many of them voted for Kamala? Because I imagine a lot of them saw themselves in her. That's why it was at over 90%.
That's what they always. But he said they always.
But they always be there.
That was the point that I made earlier. He was like, "They always." I couldn't find it.
But
break it down like
they've never. I'll find it in a second. But they Black women, I've never seen inside any of the breakdowns from the Obama to. They've never dipped under 90%. In the past 20 years, it just hasn't happened. I think the highest was 96. But it's usually 91, 92, 93. It's
I mean, if
right
that's
there.
the truth, then it just is what it is.
Well, then maybe that's not it. But I mean, as far as for
the male vote has it's swung 10%, might have swung 16% with Obama.
I think that strong leadership, even like you say, the progressives, a lot of those don't necessarily represent the ideals of the average man in America. That's not something I'm gonna look for and be like when shit's going wrong, I'll be like, what kind of ideals do they have over there? And I'm not grabbing none of that. I'm a lot of that pull you up by the bootstraps in my real life.
That's what I'm on.
That's the shit that actually helps me.
That's a reflection of my life.
And that's why I think for a lot of young men,
pull you up by your Birkenstocks.
They got straps too. And so do the left. I'm gonna stop there.
Never mind. There's so many good jokes to make right there, but I'm not gonna make any of them at the moment.
Sharon said, so you're saying that in order to have leadership, a woman is not strong enough to hold a position?
It's not.
We already went through that.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah,
and I think especially when you're talking about the younger, you know what I mean? When you're talking about an 18-year-old young man,
rebellious,
you know what I mean?
As well.
He ain't his mind. I think that as you get older, you may have, if you do have men around you growing up. As you get older, you tend to some of that all of that extra. You know what I mean? Walking around with your chest out, shit. You kind of grow into a place where you see that it's not as necessary as you thought it was when you were younger. You know what I mean? You kind of grow into an understanding that, I think that you probably, I think that shit kind of tailors down a little bit, where you're not over. Let's say the idea of I don't even using that fucking term, that toxic masculinity shit. I'm gonna say,
what you was going? Oh shit!
You better drop a TM.
No, because I was gonna use the word, but I was like, yeah, that shit's trash. I don't believe in that shit.
Oh shit.
I would believe in toxic masculinity if they talk about toxic femininity at the same time. If you go to the both extremes and talk about both of my beliefs,
they only talk about that shit.
Huh?
Say
it again.
I said I know a person that just only harps on that.
What, toxic femininity?
Yeah, they call it gynocracy and
is it a woman?
Nah.
If it ain't a woman, it just don't count. You gotta be a woman who do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think conservative women do for sure. They drag on that shit.
I don't be seeing that shit. I see, and then this the thing. Like I think that people talking on the internet's one thing, but like I be needing some of that stuff to be in real life, like because you can get on the internet and like build a platform saying anything that's like the opposing side of something that's very loud. You know what I mean? You can do that, but I be needing like real people that I know like sincerely believe the shit that they be saying.
I
say certain things. Like
maybe I attract like I say I've dated like the woman in there. She's probably way more conservative leaning than anything.
Yeah, but I mean, generally, when a woman got a dad around that's been around, they're typically going to be.
But I would say like previous to, I'd say three out of four. I know I definitely, I'm probably at like a 50 percentile. But I would say depending on like certain like versions of women, I don't think that a conservative black woman is a rarity. I put it like that.
Yeah, my wife's not black.
You said
she's
you don't?
conservative.
I don't
too.
think it's a rarity either. I've seen a lot more especially this time around. I think there was a lot more conservative black women speaking up.
I think a nurturing conservative woman is actually fire.
Oh, she sounds like a very traditional woman.
It's a nurturing conservative. That's fire. I mean, that's my wife is definitely conservative. She's definitely conservative. I was just thinking about that. You start getting
You saying you got to check see if your lady got a MAGA hat in the house?
Oh no, she ain't gonna have no MAGA hat. I ain't say a Trump supporter. I just said conservative. That's not
what's it mean to be a Trump supporter? What's wrong with that?
I didn't see. I just now you trying to. You see how niggas do?
I was only saying what you was implying. Why she can't have
no. You can't tell me what I was implying.
Oh, my bad.
I was not implying.
Why she can't have a MAGA hat then? What that mean? You said not no
she
wife of
doesn't
mine.
have a MAGA hat.
You said not no wife of mine. I don't know.
I didn't say not no wife of mine. I didn't
What'd
even
you
say that.
What'd you say?
All right, fuck you, bro.
What'd you say?
Real quick, shout out Vanessa Strickland for the super chat.
Hey,
shout out. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
TBI said conservative women are the best.
No, I would actually probably say, you know what I mean? Because a more conservative women, I think that the progressive left is just too fucking far left. Like you said, they need to separate themselves from all of that extra stuff. The woke, you don't need to be trying to be woke and not today's time, because I think that generally more, let's say, and then there's something else that I realized. You remember that they was talking about how the educated people voted for Kamala or Kamala.
It's more shaming.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And it's the
more
stupidest
shady
shit that they can possibly do right now.
Yeah, so like they be trying to smart. See, that's why I be saying, bro. That's why I didn't want to play the game. It's because they think that they so smart, bro. And you feeling that way, you have to be calling me a fucking idiot. That's how I feel.
But to me, that's why if you just vote your interest, you don't got to worry about the game of it, because it's like I don't have to like jump in and identify with any of that because of I voted for this specific reason. And I don't know, I just look down. Well, I don't want to say I look down on people that make those comments, but to me, I think that it speaks to why you voted. Like if your rebuttal to why somebody else voted is like these hyperbolic things, and it's not based in like a very specific, like a principled thing, XYZ, or an actual reason, then you probably voted for an emotional reason, or like out of like a very specific.
That's very much a fact right there. I believe that that's like 90-something% of the people that if you're absolutely,
and that's why like you can't, like nobody can rile me up about why I voted, because I voted for a reason. That's not like tribal to a ideology or anything like that. Yeah,
I guess what we on Johnny? That's what we got.
Yeah,
25 minutes.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah. So my question is, let me get the screenshot up. Said, are black folks, I don't want to say folks, are black people more organized, more focused, and more disciplined under Republican administration?
Oh yeah, here you go too. Black folks.
What's wrong with saying folks?
I just never say that shit. I don't know. This is just
black folk. We don't never say black folk.
Never. I don't never say
shit. That's better than some of the other terms we've been called.
I like my favorite new term is po-whites, the brother po-whites.
Because you can't leave them out of the discussion for whatever reason. We tend to, like when people say white people, we tend to leave the poor whites out.
Right, but
I don't like that. We have to make sure and stay cognizant that they're there in mass numbers.
Yeah, and
the white people don't even count the poor whites.
Yeah, no, but see, that's why we got to count them. That's why we got to count them. They be trying to forget about their counterparts, so we don't need them to forget about them.
But here is an interesting thing of like the rural brother poor whites. Like they buy this tribal as the black women and black men, and they don't get any actual change either. And that's actually like it's an interesting nuance of a demographic where like they're voting for change and but they be the same brother poor whites
and multiple studies have shown that poor whites and poor blacks mirror each other more closely than any other population of people.
Yeah, and so like it's as much as we drag on black people and voting for same thing with no change. Them brother poor whites are doing the exact same. The rural whites.
Trump don't care nothing about your trailer and you know what I mean? He
gonna
give
bring
you a
back
goddamn
manufacturing jobs. Nigga, your milk is gonna be $15 if you do.
But like I do think, like from what I've seen personally, I've looked for stats that'll break it down, you know, by red state. I haven't really found any other than just saying usually Democratic states make more money. But if what I've seen under like the last 4 years, black people under Trump, I felt we were a lot more political. So we were a lot more, you know, cognizant of like trying to learn like the political process. I think a lot of time when we think these leaders are racist, it makes us unify more and come together and build our own community. And I think it's just like out of necessity, us having the big bad boogeyman out there. I think it does push us closer together. I don't know necessarily this time if it's working because I do see a little more fractured among us after this election, a lot more finger pointing than I have, and it's starting to go away. It was just kind of the first couple of days. By now, I think it's subsiding. People are.
No, I seen it again today, bro. It was crazy. I seen it again today.
I think we're gonna see it for a minute, but I think what's gonna come out of that,
the pretty much talking down on anybody that didn't make this quote unquote black decision.
That's gonna be.
That's I don't think that's going. You were saying it.
It's but the first 2 days it was really, and then I think like it seemingly
it died down.
It felt like it did, but then I seen it today again. I was like, damn.
Oh nah, like you're gonna see it during the coordination.
I think you're gonna see this for a while.
It's going to take a Trump or another Trump because the thing like I don't really want to go down.
I think there's another election. It's gonna be an interesting thing.
I wasn't making a point that Trump's going to run again as much as like sometimes. And when I hear the rhetoric, it makes my brain hurt a little bit. Also, as if we didn't already live through 4 years of Trump. Like it's hard for you to fearmonger me and get me actually scared, and we actually lived through this.
And people were saying the same.
And y'all said it then, and y'all was going to Canada, and then y'all stayed, and then niggas started investing in Forex and crypto. I don't fucking like we already seen the boogeyman happen. The nigga said he was gonna build the wall and do all it. He just was chilling. He golf a lot, and like sometimes he say shit on X.
And motherfucker let Kodak Black out.
Yeah. Plenty of people.
He let a lot of black people out.
Kodak Black.
And my uncle came with him.
Another
He
thing,
definitely
like
do perk 30s. Yeah,
he be saying he do ice. Ice is code name for fucking meth. But,
if he say he do ice, that's
crazy.
Oh wow,
that's crazy.
But
hey, don't let them. Never mind.
Maybe just rap about it. He don't really live out his rap. He on probation too, so hopefully he not.
Donald Trump better be on some ice too.
Yeah, going back to the sentiment Johnny had here though.
Yeah, my bad. I derailed.
Just going back to the sentiment Johnny had. I think that I do think that black folks, and I said this earlier, I think that we are definitely more aware. I like the way he worded it, like more focused and way more disciplined. It's like, it make it sound like we about to get whipped or some shit. But I'm like, nah, we definitely pay a lot more attention when I think a Republican is in office. Like especially we seen it last time. The whole time Trump was in office, we had black people stepping up that became reporters. There's a lot of black people who made their money off of YouTube and off of social media and made their whole thing off of Trump and COVID and everything that was going on during that time, just being reporters. So I'm looking forward to seeing our people back on it.
People. See, this is why I be wanting people to come back and be like, I was wrong, right? Because all of them vaccines that was taken And your boy Trump was against them vaccines that whole time.
Nah, he
he
actually
wasn't.
he did the warp speed. He the one.
Yeah, he was the one that
against
put
people.
the shit
he
in.
was against it being a mandate.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
he was the one that pushed it for it to happen and shit like that.
Yeah, he did. Operation Warp Speed was him.
Yeah.
That's how that happened.
It was to come up with the thing that they were saying that what your boy was saying was like pretty much needed. What was your boy the Fauci, right?
Saying what?
Saying that the vaccine
talking about like it
needed to
being a
be-
mandate. Yeah, he was against the mandate.
Right.
But he
That's
was
what I'm
for the
talking about.
vaccine.
Yeah, as far as the vaccine went, he did like he takes claim for the
He
vaccine
pushed the
being made.
rollout to make it like widely accessible. You know how like it was just easy to get it.
And funded the whole thing. Like
Yeah,
the
he
warp speed,
funded,
all
like,
of the vaccine
that
was
was
him.
Like
that
you
was
could have
under
went, you
him.
could have went
I
anywhere.
feel
and
like
got
they were
one of
saying
them.
it. Well, you never know what this fucking.
What ended up like the Democrats was trying to regulate it and make it like you have
Mandatory,
to do it.
right.
Mandatory. Yeah. That'd be the thing. But the vaccine is Trump.
He was
Okay,
bringing because
okay.
he was putting them. He had those planes, but they had like the freezers on it, and they was flying. Them
I know he
shits
got
all
them
over.
ducked off something to Putin first
Oh, he did.
when it got dark. Yeah, he
Hey,
was
that
Well,
shit
it was
ducked-
because you had people all around the world.
But I'm not actually mad at that
Yeah.
because let them test that on their
Yeah.
people first.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Hey, that's
Wow.
funny. Hey, but
Putin
nah, I
was scared
wasn't.
of hell of that shit.
On top
bro.
of that, the
Motherfucker was
people
in there jabbing that shit. Putin was scared as hell
the
of that
people
shit.
the people who was taking it was like asking for it. They was asking for a vaccine. So
Yeah.
a lot of like, especially that's why he
Mm-hmm.
did the warp speed because he wanted to, like Trump is a show off. Like he want the
And
dog
that's the
on.
thing.
Hey, I did this thing.
The one thing that I can say about
the
Trump,
biggest ever.
Let's not act like Moderna stock didn't go crazy during that shit. Also, yeah, I know the
Johnson
boy
and
Trump
Johnson
had
started
some of that
moving
shit
to
in
it,
the
then they
tank.
took
Like
the L.
them stocks went crazy. So I think a lot of that had to.
Shit, stocks in
It was
general was going
capitalism at play.
crazy.
It was a
Yeah,
lot of that stuff too.
I guess if I'm going to answer the question, I don't agree with the premise.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think black people are more any of that shit. Because I don't think that like we specifically organize inside any political faction, and I think that ends up being our issue. But all right, it's just such an interesting thing, and it's hard to
So you don't
for me
think that
even
we
like
pay attention more? We paid attention more in Trump's presidency than we did on either
about
Biden.
just hating them though. Like we just complain a little bit more, but
But
I
you
don't
would
think
know
that-
more about more policies than just even the fact that you hated them made it the fact that you would know more about the policies that were being implemented versus when the Dems are in office. Niggas just completely
But
just go
this will
on
be my
a
question.
hiatus of giving a fuck.
I'll rewind and we can ask the chat or ask everybody in the room.
Mhm.
Like, can the majority of people say that during that time they understood and knew what policies he was doing, and or even right now? Like, if you talk about 16 to 20, what are the big policies that he passed that are impacting us at this moment, or was impacting us at that time? I don't think most people did. Most people just cared about what he was tweeting.
Well, I mean, the HBCU giving the making it so that they don't have to keep on asking for the funding. That was done.
But they
First
wasn't
Step
celebrating
Act-
that or talking about that shit. If anything, they still was trying to find a way to demonize him.
No, that's true.
He said most people
Okay,
don't know.
That's true.
I
Yeah,
also
most
got
people
I also got
don't know
another
anything
caveat. I
about-
also got another caveat to the
That's true.
question.
Niggas ain't give like even the things that he did positive. They did
Yeah,
as good of a blind eye they can run. And the niggas like Roland Martin ain't gonna highlight it.
damn sure ain't got.
Hey,
It ain't
Quinn,
enough
Quinn,
niggas
let-
watching Roland Martin for it to even impact anything to begin
Let me
with.
ask y'all this though. Let me ask y'all this. Because when I thought about it, like I was gonna break it down like state by state. Like we look at a lot of blue states. It's where we see a lot of like rampant crime and like the homicide numbers go way up in blue states.
You're taking it. All right, I gotta hear how you're taking this.
And then like I see a lot of time like in red states, those are
Holy shit! All right, so you
Weird.
okay? All right, go ahead.
No,
All right. Go ahead.
I mean, I think in red state places like Houston, Dallas, you do see black people making progress. I think there's
a caveat, like those are blue cities.
Those are blue cities, yeah. Those I just thought about it as I was saying it. Even in the red states, blue cities.
So are they influenced by the people around them, or like what? I'm trying to figure out where he was getting at with that too.
Well, no, in my head, like I was thinking of red states, but then the cities do be blue. So when in those, it kind of negated my point. I was gonna say I think sometime in red states, black people actually do better, but they're usually in
The
blue
big cities are always liberal
Yeah.
as
I
hell.
know some would say this question. Basically
Austin, you been to
sounds like-
Austin?
I know there's
It's
some.
blue. Yeah,
and they liberal as a bitch.
That's I was like Houston, Dallas, and I thought I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, that don't work.
I appreciate admitting, you know what I mean? Some niggas will just stand up there and just be strong, wrong than a motherfucker. Just be strong and wrong. But go ahead, so what was you saying?
Halfway down.
Oh, damn. Let me see real quick.
Shout out to Biden. Nothing wrong with a good concession. Sometimes you have to make concessions.
Oh yeah, the problem with this, the
just
problem I
don't
have with
wait
this
too
question,
late to make a concession.
Part of the problem I have with this question is it kind of sounds like, are black folks better with an overseer? Or
Yeah, that's why. Like when I said, like, how are you framing this? And then I was like, all right, oh shit.
Like it's like I get the sentiment,
and that's what I was like.
But
wait.
it partially do sound like, are black people better with the whip on their ass? Or,
Yes.
or not? Like,
and that's. But
I mean,
yeah.
that's what y'all consider.
But I do think good things come out of I do think good things come out of hard times. Like if you're in a time where, so just the fact that there's some turmoil here, I do think that this will be a good opportunity for black people to step up again, like in a way that we like the same election. I agree with Quint's sentiment earlier as far as like black people not necessarily being educated on what policies was going on during Trump and everything, but we was more aware, I feel like. And I think I think over the years, over the past 4 years, there still has been some type of people who are paying attention. But I think over this next 4 years, we're gonna see some interesting things happen, especially within our community, because there's so much of a split as far as views go and what people are thinking. And we have to have the discussion because like people and families have problems. So you're gonna, whether you want to hear it or not, you can sit there and be like, you cutting everybody off. Your brother feel like this. Your brother agree with that person you cut off. So it's like we have to have these discussions.
I think it's healthy.
I think it's healthy, and I think it's going to be
healthy.
good for us.
I like the conversation.
Same as the men women conversations. You see how that went? Like we
I
had
think
them.
Those are healthy too.
It started to die down, but I think we're seeing change as a result of those conversations that was going on.
Yeah, I think that honestly, the conversations that call out the division are always going to be healthy, in my opinion. Because you have to once you have to pick a side, then you have to validate it in conversation, and you have to tell me why you did or did not, or feel this or feel that. I think that that's going to come to a point where you're going to understand that you don't know enough about what's really going on, or you're going to have to say that if you do the research, you'll start to see where you actually land, where you land when you are intentional about understanding the problem. And so I think that that's always healthy, in my opinion. That's healthy.
I think it's healthy amongst the right group of people. And I guess this is where we're at a crossroads, and I think that probably this is where we have to kind of figure out our next steps forward. Like in a room like this, it is great to have divisive conversations and try and work through and find an end goal. I don't know if like somehow as Americans, as you know, all of us in general, we have to find a way how to make that a common, easy thing to do. And I don't think that like divisive conversations render productive results right now. Could it? Yes. With the right people, there's progress. But I can't specifically say that I think that I've seen productivity out of divisive conversations. Whether like again, it's the gender conversation, whether it's the FBA and like Pan-African versus conversation, any version of like the LGBTQ conversation, the religious conversation.
Yeah, now that you put it to that way, it's like fuck yeah. It don't be seeming like it's all based in the group that you're in. Like you may have a group that internalizes the thing and comes out with a better understanding and outlook, but at mass,
yeah, like we and that's what's like sometimes we think that we have like how we are able to actually have Facebook showed us this on the election morning.
Nah, for sure.
Like we are able to get in here and like talk Biden, Biden, Kamala, Trump, and debate and converse the ideas and even swing from side to side. Most people, i.e., even the meme from one of the Facebook friends that I have and podcast guys, shows that America's not even ready for that yet. And I think finding a way to where we can center ourselves at understanding, all right, boom, everybody's starting at a good face spot. Then I think that we can have really good conversations.
I'd agree.
Until, because even like there's parts in the chat where as you just sit and look and like different versions of conversations that's happening there, it's starting at if you identify with either one, there's a bad faith version of why you did that. And I think we can't have any real progression until we start at a space where this is a decent human being that made a decision for a real reason, or they believe this for a real reason.
And then it even gets even worse if I bring up a disagreement that I have with one side, then I'm automatically over on the other side.
Annoying.
And it's like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's almost like you got to grow up. Like, I don't like to use that kind of language to like, because it sounds really demeaning, but it's like, come on, bro.
Well, on
Like,
another note,
But I don't know if that's not
much.
age wise, because it like older and younger.
No, when I say grow up, it's not.
I get what you're saying.
Okay, I was about to say it.
on another note, I definitely say this is good for podcasters though, because this gives us like a range of different things to talk about and discuss.
Like
that
the
we've
election,
seen.
like Trump
and not just in general the election, it's the ideologies that came out of the election, or the ideologies that were occurring during the election. We got a lot of content to talk about because, like, despite the election being over, there are a lot of ideas that we really like that came up.
Are you advocating for us continue to?
He's not talking about like
shit?
specifically the election as much as like,
okay. I was about
like
to say,
being
man.
able to take isolated topics,
like immigration gonna come up probably around January. Like
or just like Donald Trump is in, so like specific platforms of his policy now start to deserve a conversation. And I imagine that's what you're talking about,
and
right?
even amongst the people, like some of the ideologies that just are coming amongst the people, it wasn't on either side of them speaking anything. It's just people feeling like, hey, this is like the
I get what you're saying. A device of America makes for good conversation, especially with podcasts. I agree.
Okay. I swear.
Oh no, we're done with election. After today, bro, we're done with election, bro. Like y'all,
I think everybody has like election fatigue of not wanting to,
like it's not even about election. Bro. We discussed it. It's over with. It ain't even like trying to convince nobody no more. Like
we discussed it and we're disgusted.
Yeah. That's fire right there.
No, that's definitely a fact. Go ahead, Johnny.
Oh no, I just like what he said. That was a bar.
Oh, it looked like he was.
That was a bar.
But yeah, so I don't know if you want to like land your plane. I know, like I said, I just disagree with the premise of the question.
Well, I mean, I literally just had a question. Like I said, I was looking up answers, trying to figure out. After this discussion, y'all said black folks ain't organized no matter who it is, and so
that's my opinion. I can't.
And so no matter who come, even if Kamala would have got elected, we still would have had an organization problem. We still would have had. So
I think the best thing that could possibly happen for black people is Trump go crazy this election, because it'll force like some maybe.
But that's kind of the
no. I'm kind of think it's like if we're looking for black organization, would it be better if he does really good or really bad?
It depends on if we get something out of
it. It just depends on what you call good or bad.
Like whatever, like the extreme of either one is.
I would say no extreme.
I'm throwing out like the hypothetical.
I think if he did really good, because it would naturally be better for black people. Because
what we organize.
He's talking about organizing. What will create?
Well, if he did bad, it's going to be bad for black people, and then it probably will force us.
See, the negative always probably better. Yes,
but it's gonna come at a cost. I mean, if he's so bad that it makes us organize, it's gonna be dark.
But what's scary to me is that, like, even with that one, because that's why I was like, this is a good question. Because if he does really bad, it could also just make it easy to just funnel everybody back Democrat. And so you don't really have to organize as much as like the fear tactic can actually work now.
Oh yeah, then we go right back to where it is.
How many more of us gonna go back Democrat? It's like.
If Trump does really bad,
niggas gonna be like,
makes it easy for that.
And then you get the I told you so
percent for. So what? They gonna get another 14%?
But again, if we're talking
that 15 million that we was talking about, then they go and vote.
Well, yeah, that's
not for. I don't think all 15 million.
Of course, not all, but the ones that set out are gonna vote, and you know what I mean. You're gonna be right back on that Democratic plantation very easily,
right? And if we're it's just talking about organizing. If we're talking,
that's what you're saying, yeah.
If we're talking about organizing, I think that him doing really bad, it probably makes it easier for us not to have to organize because of it's like. But if he does good, maybe that's like there's a reason to organize away from Democrats because of now there's actual proof of the Republicans being quote unquote better.
Oh, so my thing is, it depends.
Maybe.
See, now you're using the word organized different than I was meaning. Than I was understanding. I thought you
What?
was talking about organizing like having like almost like fuck politics. What are we gonna do to collectively change our situation?
Oh, I thought that was speaking about like and the way I took it was organizing, quote unquote, like
Our
inside
vote
like
to-
all different versions,
I
which
see.
to me, like whether it's grassroots or like politically, they almost kind of go hand in hand because of to organize in community and to want effective change to happen. There's some part of participation in the political process that's probably necessary for like at large for it to happen.
Yeah, I think in order for it to really do anything, it's gonna be more grassroots than anything though. But I do think that we participating in a intentional way with it to participating in the political establishment in an intentional way is definitely important. But I think the grassroots is going to be the way that we'll ever really see a big change
Also
in our
think so
community.
too, and I think a big part of it is going to be business this time around. If we actually take more advantage of entrepreneurship, I think the difference between now and 2016 when Donald Trump got elected is I think we're a little further in our education as far as like running businesses and we're even where a lot of our mentalities are at this point in time of what we want to do in life. Like I think there's
That's because we old niggas now.
No, I mean,
old
well, yeah.
wins.
But I do think there's a
as
good
the old wins. We now start looking at business.
But even the young guys though, they starting businesses too, and I think there's a lot of opportunity
They
here.
blowing their money
for,
on crypto and forex.
That too. But I think there's some opportunity for some grassroots
I still
businesses
got
to
some
actually do
bags
benefit
sitting
our
there.
community.
Ain't touched it.
If
Shout out
that makes sense.
Ethereum. Shout out my bad.
Yeah, I was saying I think it's some good. I think it's some good stuff for some grassroots.
I know I was
businesses
banking on that
affect us.
motherfucking that cannabis legislation. They brought it down. That was my portfolio. I was banking on that.
Oh,
though.
nah. I just know Florida said no.
Yeah, I was banking on
Nigga,
that.
them guys wasn't rolling.
Kofi say Democratic plantation, Republican phrases, but they get mad when I call them Republicans.
Oh yeah, and shout out,
Bro,
shout
just
out
because you
Bitcoin
say
for
a
Bitcoin
fucking
and
phrase
AIDS.
don't mean that you're a Republican.
Hey, which
Musty, I
phrase?
be hating those
Somebody called David Walker.
Democratic plantation, Republican phrases, but
they get mad when they call them Republican.
Well, I mean, I think you have to register Republican and or
Vote Republican. Come on,
to
bro.
be Republican.
Right, bro.
That's the homie. Though. I rock with
What up,
Kofi.
No, I
Kofi?
fuck with Kofi, but it's still that's the same thing we've been talking about this entire time.
Well, and that's my thing is that I just can't wait. And it maybe it's no escaping, but I have fatigue of identity politics conversations. This is from like ethnogenesis conversation of like fatigue of like that being a version and a hinge of it. The election in the Democratic Republican XYZ. Let's just talk about ideas and what we believe, and like some of the labeling, it just really isn't beneficial. And I think the left has lost because of this in general. Like I said, they've not been able to divorce themselves from progressives, and like the entire labeling is a big piece of where she lost it. It's because of not divorcing yourself from so much like toxic on the far left has pushed away some moderates, and like let's leave identity politics.
It's a good time for the Democratic Party to make some changes too.
Oh yeah,
like they
Well,
should
that's what I'm
definitely be
saying.
making changes in the public eye at this point, because like now Biden's about to be out. We ain't got to worry about him no more. I don't know what Kamala's doing next time, but I don't think they're gonna try to run with her again. So it's like it's open game. So this is good time.
And then even with the Republicans, like even with the what are they gonna do?
What are they gonna
Listen,
do?
I think that the Republicans they got 2 or 3 of them that's lined up, and the Democrats they need to get ready.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that. Like I said, I know for a fact.
Who do you
if
think
Byron Donald runs, he's going to be a problem.
Who do you think is a possible, like who would make sense on the Democratic side?
I don't know, because like
but he fucked up.
Damn, no Newsom. Well, Newsom is the guy that's primed and ready. He has the look. He has the talk. I think Newsom. Some people say Buttigieg, but like I think
he
like
good one too.
Hold on,
but
Pete,
I think
just
the
to make
whole
sure it's not. But Pete, that was the gay dude, right?
yeah. I was about to go
That's what
to
I'm
the
saying.
fact that I think that part gets a little sticky, but like I think he's fairly moderate inside a lot of like his
I fuck with
takes.
his, I fuck with his campaign. It's just like you say, that one thing is like it's one of those things that you never like. The country is conservative for the most part.
Don't have a first husband.
Well, I think they're at least moderate. I think that ends up being, to me, I think the country is at least moderate. But the Democrats haven't been able to properly speak to and represent the moderates. But Johnny, land this plane.
Oh yeah, no, I think that those are two good ones. Like I say, I'm not necessarily a Democrat, but it's going to be interesting to see what both sides do coming up. But appreciate everybody for tapping in with us. We still got a few in the chat going. Chat still going crazy. Y'all can comment below once we post it. Hit the like button, subscribe, catch all the videos. We'll be back Wednesday 9:30 Unpack. Saturday 7:30
8:30. We're gonna do it next week 8:30.
Who you talking to?
Yes, sir.
We'll be back next week at 4:30. Please follow us on all social media at the To Be Fair Show on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I am your host, Johnny P.
I had one. I just wanted to announce our next Unpack episode. It is the election's over with a hose. No, I'm joking. Hey, Todd, that's a joke. But
it's been a weird ass shit.
But no, go ahead, Johnny.
I am your host, Johnny P.
Old head real.
It's Q.
And we out.